Damn. I I had to hit the live button while I was sitting here getting the stream ready. Sir, this is a Wendy's tipped $100 just to say la 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 la. Good God, man. What's up with that? I appreciate the tip, but I have no idea why you would do that when you may be muted. You can hear me now, can you not? I mean, I can hear me on the OBS. I'm switching streams. Nice. Good to know, bro. You can watch both. I don't mind if you cheat on me with Supreme. Jesus. Prior to this, in case you have no idea, I was listening to Supreme talk with Aristocracy. I think, oh boy, Supreme and I are having drama. Here comes the drama. I find that more and more Supreme and I disagree. So like on how conversations went and stuff. And then he doesn't want me to tinge his beliefs on how it went, which is fair enough. I understand that. That's helpful for the stream and stuff to have your own voice and your own opinion. Even there, we have a little bit of a difference of opinion. So like, I added in some bullets about what Supreme and I talked about off stream yesterday about the conversation Aristocracy had with Ana. Because if you didn't know, I'm doing a very formal review of that. So we're doing the multiple watch throughs. We're doing the big Notion document. We're not half-assing it. And between now and then, I hope to release a video that is completely made off stream that is going through the highlights of the Destiny conversation and talking about like what we're changing with the stream moving forward to make sure that a disaster like that does not happen again, right? So the timeline is for that to come out, then to do the stream on this conversation, which is around a topic and people that I think I should be more careful about. And yeah, there's going to be no Ana apologia going on, etc., etc. But anywho, to get back to the Supreme thing, I incorporated some of the points that Supreme was talking about in my analysis. So things about like not having researched the conversation and, not having watched the previous conversations that Ana has had, I think that those are valid criticisms to levy at Aristocracy. Do I think the veracity of those claims in the conversation that he just had with her was like super fair to her? Maybe less so. He seemed like he was being like really, really harsh on Ana, or on Eris, my apologies. But different stuff for different folks. He's got his approach to things. I got my approach to things, and we're going to differ on opinions and stuff sometimes. But I hope that going through the conversation, and this is why I think it's important to incorporate what he's saying into like what I'll be reviewing, is pointing out why I'm not entirely certain that having researched as much as he's expecting would have helped Eris with the conversation. So Eris is somebody that stylistically gives lots of concessions, just willy-nilly. She's like Oprah. You get a concession, and you get a concession, and you get a concession. You all get concessions. She just gives them out, even on shit that she knows is not like true, right? And she does this in the Ana conversation at numerous points, which is why I think like, while it's okay to criticize her for not having done her research and not having looked at the previous conversations, I do think that we can't say things like, oh, we don't have a time machine, so we'll never know how this conversation would have gone had she done that research. Like, no, now I get why Destiny gets frustrated with me about not inferring things, because we could certainly infer it, because on the parts where where Eris had known about things that are counter to the narrative, she would bring them up to Ana. Ana would fight her on them. Ana would shut down. She would concede and move on to something else. And this concede and move on part means that we kind of just continue in that conversation over and over. So unless your expectation was that we had more small confrontations that would eventually be conceded, like if that's what you're looking for, then yeah, I guess that could have been different. I don't think that changes the overall conversation or the outcome of it. Like, at like a broader level. But if that's what you were looking for, I definitely think that could have changed with more research. However, you know, I think that if you were thinking that maybe the entirety of the conversation would have changed, like we would have had like some more major concessions from Ana, or Eris would have fought super hard tooth and nail on every single one of these points because she was equipped with the answers and super confident, and she had that confidence from having reviewed it, etc., etc. I think that that is way like you're expecting a lot, and I just don't think with Eris's style that we would have seen that. And Eris, from talking to her behind the scenes, approached this as like, I understand both of these people as friends, I understand their personal failings as friends, and that's her approach to the conversation. She's not approaching it as some academic or debate endeavor where she's going to not give ground on these different things. And I think even if she did, I don't think she would perform very well like that. That's, you know, steering out of my lane to make an assumption about, but I just don't think she would perform very well in that way, because that's not really her style. If you watch any of her other conversations, and some aspects of his chat, and I know this from talking in private with him, believe that like, because she has the capacity to do research as a PhD candidate and as somebody who clearly has committed to formal research in the past on very complicated topics like Israel and Palestine, then she ought to be expected to apply those skills here. Remember that I also like have done a lot of that kind of work, and I understand that people don't want to put that level of effort into these kinds of content endeavors. Now, that's not to like get her out of jail on that. It's just to give like my own perspective on one of the other main points there, that Eris should have been expected to do all this research. Like, I definitely do think that she should have. But as came out in that conversation just now, it seemed like she had some time constraints. And beyond that, I think, I just think that people aren't going to spend that much time on Twitch content. You know, like the whole time that I was doing this, especially in the very beginning, talking to Twitch politics people and encouraging them to do research on the topics that they go on panels to do and stuff like that, I'm just super doomer and asking people to do more research on shit, you know? And if she's going into this as like a friend-on-friend conversation, she's not trying to debate lord it, and she is going to give concessions everywhere, like, I'm not sure it even matters that she's equipped with that information. But, you know, we can have fanciful ideas of how the conversation would have gone differently had she had that stuff. I just think that they're not grounded in the reality of like Eris's style, right? Eris being described like Oprah Winfrey is a pretty good description for her style. The Tristan debate was S tier content. Is that the one that just happened? Maybe we'll check that out on another day, because today I have a bunch of stuff planned. I also felt Wicked Supreme was somewhat too harsh. Reconciliation is not all about waving facts and logic in someone's face, more about being empathetic. Yeah, I think, and this is another important thing to mention here, is that, and maybe I should just turn my camera on, eh? Maybe we don't need like oh no! Was ist das? Das ist nicht gut. Nicht gut. Where's my camera? Well, that's not good. Let me try and fix that real quick. Yeah, HD Pro. Hello? Okay, let's switch to OBS. Let's switch to that. All right. I have to plug everything back in, so you guys will get a waiting screen. Who
needs they booksmarts 8?
That took me a while to process. Yeah, I think you have another point here. Supreme's style and Eris's style are very, very different. So if Supreme was trying to do this in Supreme's way with Ana, he would need to research this. He would need to know all of the facts, because Supreme operates very differently from Eris. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep mixing their names up. I know the difference between them. Like, remember, Eris, with all of her like giving up points and stuff, like the research is going to be much less important, as frustrating as it's going to be. But for Supreme, where he's going to dig down on facts and go into the interrogation style conversation, like for him, it would be very important that he does that research, right? Because he means to pin them down on everything. And also their goals are going to be very different. Supreme is going to be looking for inconsistencies in what people are saying and to kind of tie a noose around their neck with their own words and show that there are differences between the reality of what's happening and what this person is trying to tell him. And, you know, he's going for that. He's trying to point that out. Whereas Ana, on the other hand, Eris, on the other hand, has very, very different goals here, right? Like you mentioned here, reconciliation. If her goal is reconciliation, then like you mentioned, being empathetic, avoiding the confrontation because you don't want people to become defensive on you, like all that's important. And Eris knows, because she's friends with Ana, how Ana is, right? And how Ana is factoring into how she's approaching it. You put aside like what Eris tells us in the conversation between them, that she's avoiding conflict all the time, that it makes her super uncomfortable and stuff like that. And then we look at how she performs in the conversation when she's constantly giving concessions on stuff that she knows better about, right? Like she doesn't agree with Ana on everything, but she doesn't feel the need to continue in a fight with Ana on everything. If your criticism of her is that she's not fighting on stuff that she should fight on, I think that that's another valid criticism. I think it's perfectly valid to be unhappy that she hadn't done research before. I think it's unreasonable to expect that the conversation would have gone differently with that information, or at least significantly differently. Again, we talked about maybe some things that would have changed. You can rewind the VOD for that. And I think that if your expectation was that she was just going to give pushback on more areas and then concede, totally fine. But if you think the conversation would have gone completely differently, I don't think that that's really reasonable to expect given her style and how she performed. So yeah, like we're given enough information in the conversation between knowing that she's against conflict, seeing her past conversations with people, and then seeing all the concessions that she gives on stuff that she knows better than to give concessions on, right? A lot of things that like she believes differently about, like her psychology friends telling her different in the background that she gave a concession on, or when I don't want to like spoil the review, so I'm going to avoid this. We'll talk about this when the review comes in the next few days, right? But yeah, from her style, I think understanding her style more and having looked at that in my debate review so far, I just don't have the same expectations that Supreme would have, that knowing all that info would have changed the conversation. But that's just where I'm at with it. Okay. And I do think that he was harsh in that conversation, but I said as much in the chat. And I bet that he's going to be unhappy with me later because I threw out a quote of what Eris had said at the very beginning of her conversation. And I'll be honest, like immediately after sending it, I realized it could be a lifeline for Eris, and I said as much to Eris, but in the moment, I didn't think that that's what I was doing. Because he was talking about, well, we can go back and look at the beginning of this video after having said numerous times, like, are you sure that's what you want to say? Because if you tell me things that are different than what you said at the time, yada, 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 I just wanted to save them the trouble of having to dig through the VOD, because the VOD doesn't start where she says that stuff either. And I had that quote set aside. So I sent the quote. I didn't... You should have gone hard on Dan earlier today. I think I went hard enough. He's a soft man. He can't handle the Booksmarts hammer, dude. When I pull out that fucking hammer and I hit a motherfucker with it, dude, it'll cause brain damage. And that man is fucking 8 brain cells away from like catastrophic failure. So I can't be doing that much damage to little man Dan. Destiny's last debate, Booksmarts will hate, but man, it was the most entertaining one in like 6 months. We can't do a formal review of it, okay? I cannot roast Destiny. I have God's plan in mind, dude. I have released the video talking about what I fucked up in debate reviews, and then I have looking at Ana and Eris's conversation. And I'll be honest with you, I cannot do anything in between those things to fuck that up. So maybe we'll watch it for fun, but I'm definitely not doing some serious review of it or giving any spicy takes, okay? I would be interested in seeing Ana grilled Supreme style, but I'd expect her to give a lot of pushback. She proves she's not exactly responding rationally to evidence in the past, perhaps. Let's see here. I still need to go do stuff before I start the stream officially. So I am going to throw you guys back in 25-minute opening monologue. Shut your stupid fucking mouth, Blinky. Opening monologue. What the fuck do you think a stream is if not a monologue, you dumb fuck? If you scroll through any one of my VODs, it's fucking 6 hours of me just sitting here going, you know, like, what the fuck are you thinking, bro? Another Twitch streamer monologuing. Play video games. Do XQCL. Put on a video. Shut your fucking mouth, dumb fuck. The debate from tonight does not deserve any kind of serious review for sure, Bookie. I'm happy to hear that, dude. Lacking critical information? Am I? Bookie's talking about that debate earlier. Oh, shit. My bad. A 25-minute opening monologue, huh? Well, it sounds like one of my streams, dude. I almost got the two confused. Maybe I'll like it. What is the best solution to dealing with Ana? Is Destiny just fuck? Oh, Booksmarts, don't give any gnarly takes. Think about this for 2 seconds. How worth it is it to respond to this chatter? It's not. I'm not going to respond to that. What does Destiny say? What's Destiny's opinion? He's just fucked? Okay, I think he's just fucked, dude. I think there's... Did he say there's nothing he can do at this point? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, there's nothing he can do at this point, dude. He's just fucked. You know, she's what again? Crazy. I'm not going to say that. That would be a bit too much. You know, she's she's just one of those, dude. And there's nothing that can be done. Booksmarts, I see you've realized some errors recently. Have you also changed your mind on Destiny versus Demon Mama 1? No. Unless you pay me $20, which in case you didn't know, this is the thing that happens on the channel. You can see information for it down here. Unless you pay me $20 to reroll my opinion, I am not going back in time and retroactively changing opinions from literally a year ago. I know that it was just about a year ago that had happened because something that I'm doing in the background, and we'll talk more about this after I put the waiting screen and music up, is I'm going back and looking at all of my old reviews and all of my old streams and kind of seeing what made Booksmarts of the past tick and how can I improve the streams moving forward. You may have seen some of those improvements already in the beginning of this stream, but there are more to come. I'm learning a lot of lessons. I'm seeing a lot of things I did that like made the stream more interesting, or things that I did that kind of, you know, made for a more wholesome guy. I want to be a more wholesome guy. Yeah, I think it's better to be that. I'm much more doomerish in private, and I think that it's okay to kind of put you guys a little farther away from the real Booksmarts, okay? Just a little further away, and just go back to that, because it used to be that I was more further away from you guys. Like, for instance, I have two kinds of opinions, and I'm not talking about public and private. So I have two kinds of opinions. I have the ideal, like what I would preach if I had a church, and then I have the practical application of that, right? And I think that in the past, I stuck more to the preach and less about the practical. And often I would pair the two together, like a big glass of wine and a nice little bit of cheese. And I think that proportion needs to return. So I will give you a big glass of wine of what the ideal is, the way that we would want society to work, etc., and then give you a bit of cheese on the side about caveats and other less fun things. You know, it should just go with it a little better to make it go down. So that's what I'll be doing more of. This is a good insight. I think so. Like, and I think getting in the habit of sharing those more helps me develop and workshop those ideas better in my mind. Right now, I am going through depression. I would say, You know, I'm not a clinical psychologist. I have been to therapy quite a bit. I do know from working with a therapist that I have this thing where I get seasonal depression. And it was after staying up for 2 days straight and crying and trying desperately to meditate the demons away and thinking about Robloxing myself that happened this last week that I was like, what are all these a symptom of? What's going on with all the... Oh, that's right, the seasonal depression. It's October. So I get that in is it seasonal depression or is it just Romania? I honestly think I would enjoy Romania a lot more if I wasn't going through this. So I think it's just seasonal depression. It happens to me right around October, November every single year. And it's just something that I forget about. But between watching old clips of me from around the same time, in case you don't remember, it was around the end of September, the beginning of October that I had that crying stream where I said, I'm done with Twitch politics. This platform is fucked and blah, blah, blah. You'll start to see connections, okay? So I definitely have this seasonal depression thing that hits me all the time. Try vitamin D. I walk outside every single day. I do that. But so it's not something that I can just solve, party people, because we've tried a lot of things. Maybe 3 or 4 years ago, for 2 years straight, I had therapy, and I talked with a therapist during this period. And believe me, I've tried everything from getting the sleep fix to doing the vitamin D to moving around, doing exercise, eating more healthy, yada, yada, yada. It does not make a difference. Okay. It's just something with my brain. And I can do my best to just make sure I don't Roblox myself in this little period of time. But I think that's most of where my focus is. Don't Roblox yourself. Don't make any bad life decisions during this period. Just weather the storm and it will get better come maybe December, January or something like that. So, Booksmarts, I went through a depression the last few months too. Oh, I usually get it in the last month of summer. That sucks, Eris. I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, Booksmarts, I was looking at this Twitch payout leak the other day, and to my disappointment, my man Booksmarts is not a millionaire. What's the most cost-efficient way to get you closer to the Forbes 500? The most cost-efficient way, and the way that income does not show up on a Twitch leak, is to donate to me. At the very beginning of the stream, the reason why I hit go live earlier than I wanted to was because some random person called Sir, This Is a Wendy's, donated $100 while the stream was offline. And they put the messages, I just wanted to say lo 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 lo. It was just random. So yeah. Management is key. It's rare you can fully cure it. Yes. And I think that's a good thing for neurotypical people to realize as well. Is God, I sound like a fucking Twitter person. I think that neurotypical people need to realize that I think it's important for neurotypical people to realize you're going to fucking trigger me. If you tell me to get vitamin D, you're going to fucking trigger me. If you tell me to go eat good food or to fix my sleep schedule or to not drink caffeine or to fast for 7 days, whatever the fuck kind of shit you have, go pray, whatever it is, just know, I have my own coping mechanisms, okay? And I think that you just find your coping mechanisms, you live through the fucking thing, and then you get through it, okay? If it's seasonal depression, it's going to happen no matter what, duder. Fish Moly. Oh, Wicked Supreme rating the channel with 184 viewers. Hello. If you are a Wicked Supreme diehard and you want to hear that juicy, juicy Booksmarts response to what had happened in his channel, go ahead and check out the very beginning of this VOD. I would recommend that you do that on YouTube because the VOD experience is much better. I opened up the stream with talking about it maybe for 10 minutes or less, I would assume. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and do that. I don't want to repeat all the points. Basically, I think Supreme's, for those of you that don't want to rewind, I think that Supreme's point about Eris needs to do research, it's valid. I don't think anybody could say that somebody shouldn't do research, now he doesn't claim this, I don't think, but because he defaults to we don't have a time machine, we can't look back in time. I don't think it would have impacted the bigger outcomes of the conversation to have done that research because of Eris's style. I understand that we can default to this idea that, well, we don't have a time machine, Booksmarts. How are we going to know? Do you have some kind of insight that I don't have? Perhaps a crystal ball or a car with an engine in the back that you put uranium into? How are you figuring this out? Well,
Wait, book who?
you know, something my boy Destiny taught me a long time ago, and something I still struggle to learn every day, I really do, is that you have to infer things, okay? Some of those inferences are logical leaps that I find easy. Some of those logical leaps are difficult and kind of tainted by people's personal beliefs about something. And sometimes your personal beliefs about something can be tainted so much you can't make a leap that you would easily be able to make, right? Or because your brand is something on your Twitch channel like mine is, and I can't make logical leaps that are super mean to people. I'm fixing that, I promise. So thanks, Vels. Let's see what Vels has to say. Nothing. Thank you for keeping quiet, Vels. I appreciate that with your Twitch Prime. So I think that we can use inference by looking. Oh, Eris. Thanks for that one. Also staying quiet. I appreciate that as well. Yeah, so I think that we could infer that based on Eris's style, Jesus Christ, Destiny, this is a star-studded cast of Did somebody gift these? I'm so high right now. I love you. I wish I could be high. Gifted a sub to Destiny too. Yeah, somebody's just filling out the board with all these subs. Already abandoning the rules you just made. I know. I'm a man that loves abandoning, dude. Let's hope I never have kids. Beta by gifters. Indeed I am, dude. I was so confused. Star-studded Eris, Destiny, and me. Yeah, bro. Hype train, choo choo. Yeah, hop on if you want to get that good shit. So, let me finish my point. I think that we can infer that the conversation at a larger level would not have gone differently if Eris had done research. Why? Because Eris gives constant concessions, even on points that she knows that she's right about, right? You can be very frustrated with that style. And I think that's a valid critique. I think that's a critique that maybe Eris should hear. It's not a critique that I'm necessarily going to do, although we'll see when I do the review, right? But, you know, because she has a goal, because she wants to keep Ana as chill as possible, she is willing to make concessions in ways that no man, nor woman, nor NB, because we're politically friendly on here, has ever made before, right? She's okay with conceding on all sorts of shit. The facts, the fucking feels, whatever, dude. Everything in between. She gives out concessions like Oprah gives away cars, all right? And I think that because of that, it would not have made a significant difference if she had viewed the previous conversations. Unless you think that she wouldn't have had the conversation in the first place. Unless you think that you would have liked to have seen her have these. I love how now you have Ana. Haha, you're very funny. Unless you would have expected her to give that little bit of pushback she gives before conceding on something that she knows is correct. Like, if you were looking for more of those, then for sure, that's a fair expectation to have. And I think that we could infer that more of those would have happened had she done her research, right? So I think if that's what you were expecting, and that's why you're saying that she should have done research, totally fair. Because I think we could infer that more of those would have happened if she was more informed about the timeline of events, the previous conversation, etc. Anywho, do you know anything about why seasonal depression happens? No. I won't pretend like I do either. I'm sure I've read something about it because there are ideas tumbling in my head, like in terms of answers to that question. But because I cannot think of any studies I've read about it, I'm just not going to say them. Thank you to whoever gifted me a sub to this channel. Wow. Look at who we have in the chat. Anna Voir. Anna, do you want to come? No, I'm just kidding. I often don't talk to other people on the channel. Otherwise, you know, I would consider inviting you on. Like, I am doing a review of the conversation that you had with Eris. It will not focus on you, okay? We'll have a few points about you so far, but I think that moving forward, one of the things I want to change with the reviews that I do is to focus on one person, because that's generally the way it works out once I watch the video, is like, oh, I wish I could grab this one person and like put them in a room and like explain to them how I think they could have done better or what I think they did well. And so the one person that I'm grabbing out of the conversation is going to be Eris, and then I'll talk to Eris about what I think that she did well. We'll have a few points where we talk about what makes it, and I hope that you would agree with this. I hope you're reasonable enough to agree with this. What makes it frustrating to try and change your mind on something, especially around this topic in particular, or stylistic choices you make that are your brand. So you do you, hun, you get your bag. Things that are your brand that also make it frustrating to talk with you, right? Like the constant citing of psychology materials or the use of terms regarding abuse or abusive relationships outside of the context of like a therapeutic environment where we have holistically looked at the entire picture from a third person perspective that is not involved with that said situation, and then label the things that are going on there like that. Once we have a more holistic image of what's going on, right? I'm not sure that you in your position as a person that is involved with that thing could do that. I think, if anything, it's more appealing when you talk about what your therapist thinks. But even then, that's like something it's really difficult for people to deal with. Like talking about what your therapist told you that's in a clinical setting, in a therapeutic setting. We don't know why necessarily they're saying that or what's leading to the, like million one problems with the approach you have sometimes. But that's not the focus. Don't worry. Okay, thanks, dude. That's not going to be the focus of the conversation. We're mostly going to focus on what I think makes Eris a good conversationalist, what I think set her up to have a conversation with you and do a better job than most other people. And I think a lot of that comes down to the empathetic approach. A lot of that comes down to being willing to make concessions even when you don't believe in the concessions, or managing like the stress and the kind of tension in the conversation. Like, I think these are all things that Eris does really well, and I enjoy them, and they're more in line with like my personal way that I like communicating with people. And so I want to, for once in my life, highlight what I think is good. Thanks for the $5, Swift. And for the subs. I do appreciate all of these. F, or is it just me? Uh-oh. I hope it's just you. Monka S. Oh, it is F. Oh, no.
I looked at what Anna typed in Twitch and I don't see where she asked.
Damn. Wait. Here we go, Monka S. Video is unavailable. No, we're live on Twitch. We back? Oh, okay. F is for fun. Anna, did you strike my video? You can tell me if you did. I won't hold it against you, Anna, but I hope you didn't. It's back for me. When the sub came up, it lagged. Oh, okay, good. I'm happy that happened. No, LOL. I'm just fucking with you. I don't think that you did. I think it would tell me too. I don't think we would come back. I think we'd be down for good. I think that if we want to arrive at the facts of the matter of what emotional manipulation is, we should first examine what emotional manipulation is not. I believe that emotional manipulation is not feudalism. It's not feudalism at all. No, not feudalism. Good to know, dude. I'm happy you don't think that emotional manipulation is feudalism. Good memes. Destiny's content equals Anna's content now. No, it doesn't, bro. Anna, I will warn you. I don't moderate this chat nearly as much as Steven does. And we have a rule here that you are going to break, because I see you breaking it. The rule that you had to accept when you came into this chat is that there are no back and forths. And if you continue to back and forth people, then you will incur the wrath of the mods for one of the few things that you can incur the wrath of the mods over, which is having back and forths with people. So I will warn you, as a professional colleague, to not break that rule, or else you will get muted. Okay? And they will show no discretion. There have been streamers in the past who have been muted, who have been banned, and then who have unfortunately or threaten people in the chat. Don't do that either. While we're at it, I don't think that you would, but don't threaten anybody because you will get banned. And then I will ask you to do an unbanned form, and then it will be awkward, and I don't want to have to go through that. So please don't make me. And that includes anybody else adding her. So I have called shenanigans. The next person to say shenanigans is going to get the butt of a fucking ban hammer, okay? Next person to keep adding Ana and arguing with her in the chat is going to get the fucking ban hammer. And I know Vels is in the chat, and that motherfucker works hard. Vels works hard. He goes hard in the paint, dude. He will fucking knock you motherfuckers out. So just watch that. Oh, okay, sure. So no adding people and arguing then. Yeah, basically. Can we say the A word? I don't know what the fuck the A word is. Anywho, that's enough of that then. Like I said, I want to go. I want to smoke real quick. I want to have a drink, and then we'll get to this. I need to finish my cup of orange juice, which hopefully I don't Tyler 1 right now. Look, that's orange juice. There's no alcohol in here, I promise. At Booksmarts, abuse. Yeah, you're allowed to say that. Why not, dude? Abuse is perfectly real and valid. Okay. Get high with me. I wish. Are you in Romania? Reach out. Okay. That's a mug, buddy. Yeah, I know, bro. Book is juicing. Is this true? What is this? Oh, I don't have my stream deck plugged in. Silly me. This is what I mean by I'm not prepared to start the stream. I kind of just jumped into it because you mofos made me. Somebody donated $100 while the stream was offline, so I felt the need to go on and talk about it. All right, let's go to the YouTube and let's view what's going on here.
How forward Booksmarts is about this stuff, so I'll say it on his behalf. How forward Booksmarts is about this stuff, so I'll say it on his behalf.
Oh no! What is he gonna say? Leaking our fucking...
Because it would be conceited for him to say it on his behalf. One time we compared our how forward Booksmarts is about...
Oh my! Supreme, you can't talk about that shit, bro. You said what happens in the house stays in the house, motherfucker. What is this? Wait, what is the context of this? Bruh.
So I'll say it on his behalf. Because it would be conceited for him to say it on his behalf. One time we compared our workflow for doing debate reviews or like doing review-based content or something like that. Booksmarts seriously puts in like probably 10 to 20 hours on
conservatively
a debate review.
Conservatively.
For the review.
Yeah.
Not counting the actual time it takes to do the review.
The reason I don't talk about this is because it's embarrassing. Like, it really shouldn't take me that long, but it does. Okay. I will talk more about that today, though, because I am hiring people to help with it. Yeah, I'm really important. I'm a dumb fuck. I think I told you this as well. So, like, because when I don't, we have a situation like what happened with Hans and Dima Mama, where like I get quotes wrong, I miss the forest for the trees, yada, 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 yada. A lot of problems happen when I don't do that. So to feel very confident in the conclusions that I'm reaching, to feel like I did a good job, to feel like every stream was really, really good that was a line by line or a debate review, I do that because I feel like I owe that not only to the audience, because I have a special set of skills that enables me to like do that really well. I also feel like that's when I'm in my element. That's when I feel really confident and I can argue with Destiny or anybody that wants to come on or edit my perspective, right? Like, I feel like I'm in a position of power when I do that, and that's why I like doing that, and I think it shows in the reviews. So I am improving that process. Here is a shout out. While I am gone, and while I have the music playing, I want you, if you want to help me do that for a very cheap hourly rate, or a project rate, or a rate per 30 minutes of video, however you want to do this, I am hiring people to help me transcribe the entirety of a video or to transfer the captions from YouTube into Notion. So either transcribe the video into Notion or take the captions that are in YouTube in some clever CS nerd way and put them into Notion and organize them by the chunks of people talking, color code those chunks per each person talking, and then take all those color-coded chunks of people talking, the dialogue, and to then put that under toggles in Notion for what the arcs of the conversation are. So let's say we're talking about topic 1 in a hippy-dippy panel. Everything can go under topic 1, then topic 2, then topic 3. You're nesting all these inside of toggles. I can show you how to do that in Notion because it's super duper simple, but I would need you to be able to transcribe that stuff. Right now, I am hiring Filipino women. That's right. I hire a diverse cast of people, but these Filipino women are disappointing me because they're lying to me. Weaselly little liars, dude, telling me that they're going to have shit done on time and they're not doing it on time and they're not replying to my fucking messages. If you're hearing me, you know who you are. Mina. That's right. I'm doxing you. Mina, get me my shit. So if you're Mina, you should feel butthurt and ashamed right now. But if you are not Mina and you would like to be the future Mina and do the job well so I don't feel animosity towards you, please sign up. That would be really, really great. Don't make me promises you cannot fill. But anywho, fucking putting Mina aside, that's something that I'm hiring people to do. And if you have an idea of how much that costs per minute of video or per hour of video, or an hourly rate that is reasonable, or a project rate that is reasonable, email me, booksmarts.twitch@gmail.com. You can get that by doing !email, and I would really appreciate the help. If you are English speaking, native, or fluent, and you would also like to give your own input, this is an opportunity to do that and to be a part of the Booksmarts creative process. So you could leave me little comments like, hey, Booksmarts, she repeats this 18 times. Just control F for these terms. I think it's an important stylistic decision. Like, oh, Pog, I enjoy that. Sure, I'll look it up. Maybe I'll even have you color code stuff in the future for me. And then we're building on stuff together. I want to assemble a team, okay? A team of people that will help me go through these videos in a much more quick fashion. It would be amazing one day to have a relevant style speed to within 24 hours of something coming out, having workflows in place that allow us to not only transcribe that, but have it reviewed and ready for a debate review within 24 hours. That's the dream, baby. That's the dream. I'll settle for 48 hours. Hell, I'll settle for 72. But if I could get it to be that quick, that's the goal. And I cannot do that on my own. I need help. So if you want to be a part of that, if you want to be a part of that process, we have everything from the VOD to the video coming out covered, okay? I can easily set aside a script, do a 15 to 20 minute recap that people want with quotes and stuff, and work with multiple editors so that not only TAC is the one editing all the videos. I have appreciated the emails that I have gotten about video editing stuff. I have not replied to you because I am one man and I'm trying to do too much. Ooh. And I need to prioritize, which is why I'm putting off things like this Aristocracy review until I have it transcribed by somebody else, because I'm not going to spend more time on that when other parts of the business need my attention, like email. Hopefully I'll have email done the next couple of days, and if you applied to be a video editor, I can respond to you about that too. In case you didn't know, you could send me an email and offer about video editing. If you want to do it for free, I am not Hassan. I do not believe in socialism. I am okay with having you work for me for free. That would be wonderful. If you don't, and if you have an hourly rate or a project rate, go ahead and include that, because if you are snappy, if you are professional, if you can communicate well, I am happy to pay you for that, okay? And so either way, email me. I don't expect you to do transcribing work for free. I really want to pay you to do that. So don't tell me that you want to do the transcribing work for free. I mean, you could tell me and I could consider it, but I really would like to just pay you for that, even if it's a meager sum, okay? Because I think that motivates people better and makes sure that we have a business relationship, not a friend relationship. And I would appreciate that. So anywho, there you go. Email booksmarts.twitch@gmail.com. Go ahead and let me know. I am going to throw it to a waiting screen. We are going to play some music while I prepare some things in the background, get my streaming setup all cleaned up because I don't like it being messy. It triggers me. Let's see here. SoundCloud. we are going to play Satellite by PictoChat. Exclamation point Picto in the chat for more information about PictoChat. Enjoy. All right. I'm settling back in. Enough music. Am I muted? Oh, I am muted. I said hello, Angelo, and I said, welcome to the YouTube chat. You'll probably be pleasantly surprised by the quality of the YouTube chat. And in case you didn't know, this is what I look at. I get the YouTube chats and the Twitch chats at exactly the same time. And soon enough, brings us to topic number 1 on my long list of topics to go through. We will have a booksmarts.gg chat. Yes, that's right. You heard that right. You probably also see that on the screen. At least I hope that you do. Oh, you don't. You don't see anything because my shit doesn't work. That's wonderful. Honestly, I couldn't think of anything better than that not working. So anywho, like I said, I get the YouTube chats at the exact same time that I get the Twitch chats. And there is no discrimination here. And soon enough, we'll have a Booksmarts chat. I am working on that. BSGG is coming. BGG, however you would like to say that. So look forward to that. That is going to be a long work in progress. And by long, I mean in terms of Twitch lifespan. So it's going to be a few months at the very least to get that up and running. I have very much confidence in my developer who is working on that. It is a good friend of mine at this point, somebody who I met whilst I was in Austria. It is somebody whose name I'm about to dox, so forgive me if that's not something you wanted to be public. Unfortunately, I'm about to dox you. That would be Fabian. Fabian, that's how the Austrians pronounce it. Not Fabian. And as you will see here, let me make sure there's not anything else that's doxing information here. Probably not. I have this. Uh-oh. Can we focus? So I have, on request of Mark, the marketing guy, I have created a board that my camera refuses to focus on. There we are. That is helping me keep track of all of my work the same way I would have it set up at my office. Because I feel like I'm not productive. I don't know if that's my seasonal depression talking or just a reality of things. It's definitely the reality of things mixed with seasonal depression. I don't know if seasonal depression is making me less, able or whatever, but yeah, there's that. So I went out and bought a whiteboard and I did that. I figure it's a very small cost for what it is. And that's these sticky notes help me keep track of everything that I have to do. So man, I thought Mark got canned. We haven't heard much from him. Well, you haven't heard much from me in general, right? I dropped off all of my Monday Scrum meetings that I used to do where I talked to my editor or soon editors and Mark at the same time. And I do all my meetings on Mondays. And this Monday, I actually had a meeting with Mark. And Mark is a very pleasant fellow. He is quite enthusiastic. He's quite positive. He's quite optimistic. And one of the solutions that we came up with is maybe I should create an office wherever I go by bringing with me the supplies that I need to make things happen. So I bought a bunch of notebooks. I bought a bunch of pens. I bought markers, and I'm so happy to get back to work and be more organized about it. I wanted to give you a peek behind the scenes at something like this. So that maybe in case you're somebody who is unproductive, this can help you to understand how I managed to have my modicum whatever of productivity. So on the left here, on the left, we have the big projects like booksmarts.gg. Until 10/12, I have to wait to follow up with Fabian about the website, okay? And if you are a web developer and you would like to help me at a very cheap rate or for free, I need wireframes. So if you can help me design a website and create wireframes for it, you would be very much enjoyed, okay? Because while Fabian is working on the chat for the website and figuring out what he needs from my developer for the website, I need a developer to help me create the website. So if you want to reach out, booksmarts.twitch at gmail.com, I would highly appreciate that. If you want to keep this gravy train running. Then we have what I nickname, because I love calling my projects by special code names, I call it Santa's Helpers, or the way it's in my Notion, Santa's Little Helpers. So I'm finding a bunch of elves to help me make the process of streaming more easy. Part of that is Mina, who likely we will not continue to work with unless she manages to pull a rabbit out of the hat and get this transcribing done in a reasonable time frame. But I hope that somebody from the community reaches out and I can give work to somebody in the community, paid work, of course, because I want to pay for that. Yeah, hopefully we can have somebody else's name down here for working on the transcript. But you see down here, the Destiny overview videos. I'm going to go through the rhetorical flattening that I got from Destiny, talk about what's changing about the process, including this hiring of different people, and to ensure the quality of reviews going forward. Because I watched, and this is a part of here, with the rubric, which is going to outline the way that I do my reviews and the way that I look at them and the criteria I use for finding what's important, right? I need to watch old VODs, and I have so far spent, I'd say more liberally like 2 hours, but I'm keeping track of it with like little tally marks here, how many hours I've spent looking at my old VODs. And I used to talk about how the Patreon money would go back into making everything better for us, right? And I make enough through donations. God bless you guys for giving donations, because those help me afford the Airbnb that I'm staying in, my travel expenses, food, these kinds of things. But I think that diverting the Patreon funds into making the content better is something I'm going to do more of. In no small part because the things like the transcript and the notes are things that I post on the Patreon, in case you didn't know. So the patrons have access to all of the notes that I've ever done on any of the reviews that I've done, whether they're physical or on Notion. So all of that is available to you guys. And I think making those notes better and hiring people to help with those notes so that it does not take me days and days and days to respond to a video that had then come out days and days and days earlier would be good. Booksmarts, we need confirmation on Fabian versus Fabian. I like Fabian, but that's because I knew quite a few people growing up who pronounced it Fabian. When I went to Austria, it was pronounced Fabian, and so I call him Fabian. Rare Pepe, I hear Twitch is open source now. That's a good fucking meme, dude. Fabian sounds more hot. Wait, which sounds more hot? Ever heard of Final Draft? No, never heard of it. I mean, I've heard of the concept of a final draft. But anywho, I will not allow myself to be distracted. So I'm working on stuff. That's definitely something I'm doing. Booksmarts.gg is in the work. If you want to be a part of that, definitely reach out and I'll respond to emails soon enough. What else do I have on that note? So I'm hiring people to write captions, the people to help me do research on maybe some political topics moving forward. Uh-oh! Did Booksmarts just say he's getting political? Fuck yeah, I did. You know what I realized when I saw those Twitch leaks? I realized, to my surprise, that Mike from PA makes more money on Twitch subs than Destiny. Granted, Destiny has DGG. This is not factoring in donations, but still, really? I could do that. I could buy wigs, pretend I'm a fucking communist and talk about things from a communist. I could do that. That's easy. And you just have to fake it. Everybody just understands that people are faking it. I could fake it. You know what else I could do? I could put on a different wig, like I said I was going to do back in the day, put on some fucking sunglasses, paint on a beard, and be a conservative as well and go, you know what, fuck these fucking Democrats. They're fucking spending all this goddamn hard-earned taxpayer money. They want to expand the fucking debt ceiling because those motherfuckers can't pay for the bill. I like a man that can pay for what he done ordered for dinner. I don't like that he's shoving all that shit on a credit card he ain't never gonna pay, okay? I don't like that one bit at all. You want me to increase your fucking credit limit? Hell no, motherfucker. I'm not hearing this shit about how my President Trump put this shit in order. I can do it, dude. I can cover both. I just need people to help me with the research, finding the articles, creating a research document that I can use for the talking points on both sides. I want to contract that work out to somebody because I find no joy in covering politics. However, I would find joy in acting out politics because if there's one thing I've learned from Twitch, it's that you motherfuckers like performative politics. And performative politics is fun, and I could do that. I just want to be educated on the points so that I can do it in a educated way, right? This channel is called Booksmarts. Maybe I should live up to the name a little bit more. So that is the plan. Lamau, grift for money in science. Break down after a year what you learned and how you did it. Yeah, true. And then I can make a whole YouTube video about it. You're going to need to start by going on a lot of panels. Well, that would be another fun thing. Put on the fucking dress and shit. Go on a fucking panel and be that person. That would be so fucking fun. And like imagining Dylan Burns inviting me on and introducing me. And today we have CommiSmarts, previously known as Booksmarts, but today we got CommiSmarts on, part of the Booksmarts media empire. You know, that would be super fun. I would actually enjoy going on panels if I could meme like that. And boy, oh boy, do I want to meme like that. That will be fun. Boo, no grifting. Hey, fuck you back there, J-Rod. Shut your fucking mouth, dude. I gotta make money, okay? Everybody's grifting. This is a train that fucking left the station. People are making money. I want in on it, okay? Because you know what I'm going to divert those funds to? I'm going to divert those funds to good shit. I'm going to put it into shit that matters. I'm going to do what you wish that Hassan did. What you wish Mike from I almost said Mike from CCP. We know that's a bit of a slip up. What Mike from PA does. I'm going to divert those fucking funds into having real political shows that don't have a character, that is just talking about what the fuck is going on, benefited from all the research to do the characters. I would love to have a show, hell, maybe even a weekly podcast that I co-host with I'm Really Important, where we talk about what is actually going on with electoral politics, what our sources are for that, what is further reading for people that want to get educated on that stuff, and just breaking down what's going on every week. I would love to have a show like that. To do a show like that in the Booksmarts fashion would require research. So that's another reason why I need to get better at managing people and managing teams and having a research team that can help me with that stuff. If any of this sounds interesting to you, even if it doesn't sound interesting to you, reach out. I want to work with you, okay? Because we could build something that's pretty fucking big. We could take the money from Grift and put it towards something that's actually helpful. And even the process of building the Grift can be something that can also piggyback and be used for something useful, right? I understand at this point, and I've completely accepted in my heart of hearts, that Twitch is a performative platform. It is for performative politics. It is for performative positions, for performative personalities, and for performances more generally. So I will put on a performance. I will put on a show for you guys. But you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to use the funds from that to do shit that I want to see made, that I personally want to see created and birthed into this sphere as a kind of counterbalance to other people and other talking points and other more malicious actors in the space, right? So I think that more and more moving into 2022, Booksmarts needs to put Booksmarts' money where his mouth is and to create this kind of content because nobody else is going to create it. My over 2 years of endeavoring to try and get people to like create this kind of content or to speak in the way that I want is not working. It failed. It happens, you know? I spent a lot of my life so far, at least, you know, in respect to how long my life is, right? Like almost 10% of it on trying to convince these people to have better conversations. They're not having them. I need to do panels then. I need to host conversations. I need to moderate stuff. I need to do research on stuff. I need to do the stuff that I'm telling other people that if that's their content, they should do, right? And then if somebody has a problem or they are uneducated on the topic, to bring them on and then educate them on the topic, right? So that's what I want to do. Geez, 2022 sneaking up on us out of nowhere. Yeah, it's right around the corner. Baby, I'm looking forward to it because that's when seasonal depression is done. That's when I'll be on my game. And hell, this is another thing and a reason why I need that money, party people. I want a home. I am getting sick of the vagabond life, okay? It was really fun. Ever since I was 19 years old, I've lived the vagabond life, okay? I would argue before that, there was a lot of going back and forth on trains and having two houses because my parents are divorced and not feeling like I had a place that was like really, really my own. I had been a vagabond or felt like I just didn't have a home for like the entirety of my adult life. I have always been in flux. I have always been moving, and accepting that that was likely going to be the fact of my life for years and years, I chose to make the best out of it. If I cannot afford rent or I have a weird income where I cannot get an apartment, I will travel the world. I will stay in hostels. I will stay in Airbnbs. I will see the entirety of the things that I want to see. And you know what? I feel like I reasonably accomplished that more than most people. I left the country. I lived in Asia. I saw Hong Kong. I saw Korea. I saw Japan. I saw Thailand. I saw China. I saw all the stuff that I want to see in Asia. Then we look at Europe. I got to see a lot of really cool stuff in Europe. I got to meet the people. I got to have a better understanding of what the differences between the countries are. I got to see places that I would love to live when I have Hassan money, right? I would love to live in Switzerland, or I would love to spend 3 months out of the year living in Switzerland. I fell in love with the Italian part of Switzerland, and I would love to return a better man. You know, I want a dog. I want an apartment. I want to go back to having an office. I want to work on motorcycles in a garage. Like, I think that because I'm 24 and this next year I'll be turning 25, it's probably time to start settling down, getting out of my vagabond phase, tightening the bootstraps, and really like having more overhead, having more obligations, having more responsibilities, meeting somebody that I love, maybe having relationships. And these are things that I would love to do surrounded by family and friends. And I have a lot of family and friends in Orange County, one of the most expensive places to live in the most expensive state to live in. So to make that happen, I need to take this job more seriously. I need to make more money with it. I need to be consistent with it. I need to, like we saw here, even when I'm traveling, make sure that I'm getting work done and that I'm working towards larger goals. So, you know, that's what I need to do. Stuck in doggone Romania. Yeah, for now. This is my hyperbolic chamber, dude. I'm training. I'll probably spend another month here, get this workflow for traveling set up and done, and then we'll chug along forward.
Reroll your opinion on getting into performative politics as
No.
Sweat smile.
You know why? Because that was only $5. This bitch don't cost $5. I'm no $5 hoe, dude. I'm not flipping tricks for $5. Okay, you want me to reroll an opinion? I have how much that costs. Okay, and it's not $5. Booksmarts, do you stream as a full-time job? This is all that I do. And in the last month, I don't think I've done any commissioned work. So yeah, I'm completely living off of the money I make as a full-time streamer. Now, is that full-time amount of work being spent on screen? No. Should more of that full-time work be spent on screen? Yes. More of that full-time work should be spent talking to you guys.
If you choose to go down the forbidden path, please take a stats class so you can interpret studies and you will have a leg up over everyone on this platform.
Okay.
Big D man.
Thanks, dude. Hey, Bucky, do you have any pictures of Romani? You mean... Do you mean the goddamn G slurs? No, bro. I don't have any pictures of Romani. I guess reroll only works on Twitch. No, you need to spend more than $5. I believe it's 20, isn't it? Let's pull the thing. For the small fee of just $20. Yeah, it's $20. It's not $5. I would be giving you a hell of a discount if I did it that way, dude. And thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. All the subscriptions. You should do an extra 10% to show how you study for your reviews. What does that mean? I don't understand. That tip was very accurate. Oh, okay. So anywho, yeah, lots and lots and lots of plans. Lots of personal changes. Some that scare me. Honestly, a lot of them scare me. It scares me to have the idea that I'm going to be stuck in one place for 6 months to a year. It scares me that I'm going to have a bill that big, rent, that just does not go away for that long. But you know what? I've afforded all the Airbnbs that I've lived in that are comparable to the rent there. I've afforded all of the cost for food. I've afforded, like, I can do this. I think it's doable, and it's time to step up to the plate, Does it tell me anything in chat when I type reroll? Oh, then I'll have to add that to the YouTube chat. That'll be added to my to-do list here. Okay, so to do, I need to add reroll to YouTube. That's what you meant by it's only in the YouTube chat. Now I understand. Okay, my apologies. I will do that. Bookman, do you not do the 20 hours of work on stream because it would hurt the process? Yes. And it would not be enjoyable. I would not get viewers. I would not get donations, whatever. Because what you have to realize is when I'm doing this, I'm listening to debates. I shit you not. The Eristocracy debate I'm listening to at between 3.5 and 4.5x. You would not enjoy having to listen to that. You would not enjoy that I pause every 2 seconds to transcribe stuff. You would not enjoy that I tell you to shut the fuck up, or that I'm super duper focused. I do not want to be bothered. It would not be an enjoyable streaming experience. So unfortunately, that does have to be done offline. I don't want the influence of chat or opinions. I invite other influences in terms of opinions in at very particular parts of the process. So there is an initial process where I look at Reddit, I look at Destiny, I look at Irrelevant, I look at people who are commentators on the topic, see what they're saying about it, incorporate those perspectives into the review, understanding that that's what I have to work with. That's where people are at with stuff. And if I have a different opinion, I need to know what point A is so that I know how many steps and in what direction I have to move people to point B. Booksmarts, the Booksmarts point, right? So I need to understand where people are starting so that I can get them to where I am. And that is something that can only really happen if I understand where people are at first. Because if I don't, like I didn't in the Ethan Klein situation, like I didn't in the Demon Mama situation, we can have disaster, right? Because I hear people say things, I just think they're dumb and I don't engage with them, when in reality, I should work that into the review, understanding where people are starting from and transitioning them over to where I believe what I believe. Hey, Booksmarts, I'm the dude you stayed with in Vienna first. I was super busy for all of September. I hope you're doing fine. I am doing fine. And thank you for your hospitality. I do appreciate it. And thank you for Carl the cat. He was so cute. And I love that he warmed up to me. At first, I was like, man, this cat doesn't like me. It's avoiding me, yada, yada. He gives me fucking mean glares. But then he came around. He woke up. He's like, hey, bitch, feed me. Yeah, bitch, feed me. He's like rubbing me with his head. I'm like, yeah, I'll feed you. Okay, you little rascal. I love that. That was fun. Book, with the whole leak stuff, shouldn't you focus on YouTube more? I should focus on my own thing. I should focus on booksmarts.gg. That's what that taught me. You can't trust these giant fucking companies. That's the one thing the socialists get right. You cannot be trusting these fucking companies, dude. They'll put you in Facebook jail. They'll fucking ban you. They'll leak your private information. They'll get hacked. They might even fuck you literally. Yeah. Not much of a problem because I'm a man, They don't be fucking many men. But they certainly do be fucking lots of women that they probably should not be fucking. So, there's 101 problems with relying on these companies, and they do a lot of bad stuff, So you got to keep that in mind. Did the shirt on the pillow work for allergies? Kind of. You know what I think worked for allergies? Overdosing on allergy medication. Not that I suggest that you do that. But I will say what worked for me personally, and I'm not a doctor, is taking 2 times the amount of the suggested for the allergy pills, and then I felt like a soldier every day. Corporations are the real abusers all along. Yeah, that's what we learned, dude. It's the what we learned along the way. 100% booksmarts.gg. Yes. And there's so many cool things. I want to have channel points on booksmarts.gg, similar to how they have channel points on Twitch, where just by watching, not necessarily by spending money, you accrue points that can be used in things like polls. I also, and I don't know if this is exactly possible or what the logistics of it would be, I would like to have a form of bits that are going to be like, I don't know, BS bits or Smarty tokens or something, where like you can buy these coins. Maybe sometimes they'll have sales in the coins, and you can also use those for the things you could use them for on Twitch, TTS stuff, voting extra in polls, stuff like that. And we can have polls that are not limited to a time frame within a stream. I could have a poll that starts at the moment I end a stream till the moment I start the next stream. And that poll can be on the front page of the website, and that'll determine what game I play, or maybe what, conversation I review, or things like this, right? So there's a lot of things I want to do that are not easily functionally possible with DGG because it's spaghetti code, apparently. So that's why I'm spending literally thousands of dollars to create booksmarts.gg, because there's stuff I want to put in there that would not be possible if I was starting with Destiny's code. So we're building it from the ground up, and that's going to be quite the endeavor. And if you want to help with that, again, email me, booksmarts.twitch@gmail.com. If you don't call them book bucks, book bucks! Book bucks. That's fucking golden, dude. Yeah, book bucks. I like that. Download Twitch Leak torrent, copy paste bits and poll code. Maybe, bro. Book boxes. Can't wait to have book bucks. Yeah, me neither. If Vosh can do it, so can you, Bookie. Yeah, but he just took code, dude. He didn't build his own shit. Pepe, are you going to copy a recently open source project? I don't think so. I think we're probably starting from scratch. We might take some stuff from open source projects, but that's outside of my realm of understanding. I could not answer that for you. You have to ask Fabian about that. That's outside of my realm of expertise. Booksmarts, that'll be $20 for that idea. Too late. You shouldn't have typed that in chat. Matter of fact, that belongs to fucking Twitch, because you typed it on their platform, bro. Booksmarts, did you decide not to do IRL streams for your trip? Just wondering, since we reached the dono goal. Okay. Let me talk to you about that. I had hoped this would never come up. So I have set aside that money. It is earmarked for spending on the stream setup stuff. However, it cannot happen until I return to the US and set up the server side portion of that on my computer. Because basically what it's going to do is we record with the camera, right? It goes into a encoder that I have on my person while I'm streaming. That encoder shoots much compressed information over to my home computer, and my home computer puts that information into a scene with my chat and with everything else. The reason why you do it that way is so that if the internet cuts out while you're streaming, the whole stream won't drop. Also, if you have this very compressed version of the video going to the computer, it's less taxing on the network than if you were trying to send all that directly to Twitch, because you can't compress it in that way. This is all like way oversimplifying the technology behind it, but that's the reason why I have to wait till I get to the US, set everything up on the computer, and then whenever we travel, we can do that stuff. So even if I bought that equipment today, I can't do it.
Ready for the rise of BGG.
Hell yeah, brother. Thank you. Your ideas will be assimilated. Thanks, dude. Sag, IRL streaming is harder than you think, people. It's mostly trash and expensive. It is. It's very expensive and it's very trash. And beyond that, and you're going to hate to hear me constantly repeat this, it does not make money. It doesn't make good money. And so that's another reason that it's difficult to consider. Now, granted, guys paid for the streaming setup, so I will make that streaming setup. It's just, I know that that's just a bunch of money that's going to go into a pit that's unlikely to pay for itself anytime soon, because it just doesn't make a lot of money. And if you add on top of that, it makes the travel experience very awkward. These are going to have to be dedicated trips, not things that like pack all my days traveling. Like it's a whole thing. Booksmarts.gg sounds, or bs.gg sounds better. Maybe, bro. I think it's a bit much. You gonna open source? No. No, I'm not. You want to know why? it would be practically not helpful, because when Destiny.gg was created, and this is all my understanding, again, I'm stepping out of my lane. When Destiny.gg was created, it was created in such a way where it would be plug and play for different streamers. Different streamers could easily put in their information, change aspects of the website, and use it. It was all meant to be an open source project from the beginning that multiple streamers could use. This will not be designed that way. We'll be cutting a lot of corners that makes it easy to have one streamer, one streamer's chat, one streamer's information to do it. So for instance, to give you one little taste, YouTube chat is very difficult to work with in the back end to get information from the YouTube chat and put it into your Booksmarts or Destiny website. It's difficult. It's not exactly trivial the way it is with Twitch. So basically you run into a bunch of technical hurdles, and if you are going to do it for one person, for one streamer, for one channel, it's easy to set that up all for one person, but to create a system where anybody can plug and play with it and not have problems is an entirely different project, and it's not one that I want to endeavor to create. So that's why. And I feel like Destiny already has DGG. If people want to use that, they can. It's not like we're inventing the wheel here, right? It's already there for people to use. So yeah, that's not the idea. Why open source it when you can sell it? True. And you know who may purchase it? Wicked Supreme might purchase it. So if you are a follower of Wicked Supreme, I'm gonna milk your fucking viewers for money here, Supreme. If you are a follower of both myself, moi, and Wicked Supreme, then you may want to donate to Booksmarts here, because Booksmarts is making a website that perhaps Supreme could use. IRL streaming makes money when you have a TTS threshold of like $50 and people do IRL TTS things with it. Yeah. When you do like what Ice Poseidon and Asian Andy and stuff do, then yeah, maybe you could make money with it. You'll create your own arch nemesis if you make it open source. Think of the content. No, I don't want that. The famous Wicked Supreme, the guy with the amazing hair and the crazy beard. Yes, that Wicked Supreme. That's me. I'm a fan of both. There you go, bro. Do you also happen to have a bunch of money laying around? If so, you're my ideal person. Anywho, I have more points that I need to get through, okay? Destiny, Ana, education, math, and exercise. Okay. So let me do some plugs. So in case you didn't see me on these various appearances that I made, I was on Destiny's stream. I think it was yesterday or the day before. We talked about a little bit about Anna Frill. So if you're into that thing, go ahead and check that out. We talked about education and the woes that Stephen has with it. We talked about mathematics and exercise. So if you're interested in any of those topics, check out his second to most recent VOD, I believe. This morning, I think it was this morning, I argued with Dan. If you'd like to see Dan get a fucking rhetorical beatdown, that old man can't keep up, then go ahead and check that out, because that motherfucker was talking shit and he got hit. If you want to see me have more fun and talk about cummies, ooh woo. I'm a weeb and that one hurt coming out. If you want to see me talk about weird stuff like that and minion porn and Rule 34, I appeared on STRDST panel as well. The topic was vitamins, but we talked about everything but vitamins, I tell you. So if you go check that out, that was a really fun one. It was a panel experience that I actually enjoyed and I wasn't an asshole for. So if you want to see that, go ahead and check that out. Let's see, what else do we have here? I'm working on that Destiny video. So like I said before, hiring. So if you want to, submit for that, email me. Today, I have some videos on YouTube that we can watch from my watch later. From Veritasium, Fortnine, some other favorites of the channel. And here's another thing that I would like to do, and possibly with IRI. In the US, we have a system of classes for high school students that want to get college credits. So basically, you take a college class while you're in high school, you take a test, you pass that test at the end of the year, and you get college credits. And one of those classes is AP Government. So AP is that advanced placement, whatever thing. There are videos online that go through all of the units of AP Government. And what I would like to do is to go through those, take some notes. Thank you for the sub. I do appreciate it. Forever Wild 93. You're slightly older than me. And then talk to somebody like IRI and talk about what are some things nowadays that we're seeing. Oh, you gifted. Lucky Hooch. Well, consider yourselves lucky, Pack Sam and the other person, for getting subs from them. How did the tomato sauce taste? I honestly threw that all in a bowl and I cooked it and it tasted fine. You guys talked a lot about vitamin C. Yeah, so I want to go through those AP government videos on YouTube, talk about the concepts, do a whole note thing, and that way I'm educated on the very basics of government. I have a refresher course in it because I did take those classes. And then we can start with the political prep stuff, because I hope that by the time I'm able to work that out with IRI, and by the time I get the transcription stuff done and I have some people working for me that are competent, then I'll be able to transition into looking into political topics of the day, practicing with this AP government thing, creating notes for people, and practicing collaborating with other creators like I'm really important, and bringing that information to you guys. So that's something that I want to do. And that's why if you see me constantly pushing IRI's content, what IRI is doing, that's why I'm doing that. It's not just because I want to collab with him. It's because I am becoming more interested in covering politics in the way that he does, in covering electoral stuff that's going on nowadays, cutting out the BS, actually reading articles, talking about what the aspects of the discussion are. Like when we're talking about budget reconciliation, what the fuck does that mean? I know what a budget is. I have a vague idea of what reconciliation is, but like, what does this mean technically for the government? What is it? How does it normally get passed? What is the historical significance of this? Who is saying what, and who is full of shit and who's not full of shit, right? And what are the broader like implications of these things? These are questions that I don't think the people on Twitch are equipped to answer you about. And those that are, which I would count Mike from PA among those people, or Destiny among those people, have ideological barriers to really explaining that to you in a way that I think is going to be helpful, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, right? I think that the ideological slant of people on Twitch makes it very difficult to communicate and have conversations about those topics, right? In a way that's helpful to whoever chooses to listen. So that's what I want to do. Whether you're disinterested in government, heavily Republican, heavily Democrat, I want to give you a kind of cheat sheet of information that helps you understand and parse through what your politicians are telling you versus what is actually happening in the world, right? Or what people on panels are telling you, which is even worse than what the politicians tell you. I know that was a very low bar and they snaked right under it. But, you know, doing that and then having shows that can be moderated from a position of education, right? So I could moderate a debate between people on budget reconciliation because I just read 20 sources, had a 3-hour conversation with IRI about it, and watched a bunch of conservative and liberal media to understand the points. And now I'm educated enough to feel confident to moderate a discussion between two people on the topic. Two people who will be expected to have done similar amounts of research and come to the battle prepared. Because if they come unprepared, I will come after them with the hammer of book smarts and I will bop them. And they will go to uneducated jail. Okay? So that's the overall path that I kind of want to take. And we're at the very beginning of that with understanding government a little bit better. But Book, do you think doing IRI style content is a good idea given the number of views his videos get? No. So when I say IRI style, what I really want to distill that down to is talking about electoral politics. And that won't be the bulk of what the content that we do on the channel is. A lot of it will still be reviews. That's the moneymaker. But I do think that like hosting conversations, right? Like we've seen success on Dylan's show. We've seen, thank you, NordVPN. You guys got a free plug, okay? You got a free one. I'll give you that one for free. Come on, camera. Thank you. You guys got a free one. What I mean by IRI style is what are we focused on? Where's the focus of the coverage? And how are we going to take that and put that into formats that are more digestible to the Twitch crowd, right? So panel shows, debates, things like that, right? And then taking little bits and pieces of what I've learned from other creators like Hans of Herkir, who does this chess timer thing, or and he's super duper tiny, but Senpai Chow and some of his ideas for how panelists could work, right? And just implementing those and see what works and see what doesn't work. And because I have a team behind me at that point, it's a lot easier to set those things up. I can delegate a lot of the thinking to somebody else and somebody else can do it, right? I want to expand this, even at the scale that I'm at right now, to have a bunch of people, to have a team that can help me with this stuff, and to rely on other creators for the parts of the process that I think they would be better at doing, right? So if somebody else would be a better moderator, maybe I have somebody else step in. Maybe we have as a guest moderator, Dylan Burns. Maybe we have on as a guest moderator, Prime Kai. Maybe we do host something that's like an 18-person panel, right? And we have like 30 seconds for every single person or something. And I bring Prime Kai on because he can handle chaos, you know, like just collaborating more with people, learning more about the topics that I want to cover, and expanding to other kinds of content. That's all stuff that I want to do in 2022. So these are the baby steps towards that. As a guest moderator, Vels, yeah, maybe, dude, if you're capable. Dylan Burns would be interesting. Yeah, because he's done that before for other people. He's guest moderated. So I think like all of that would be interesting. All of that would be cool. It would give me reasons to engage with people that I otherwise don't really engage with, you know, like, and that's all a part of taking this more seriously. If this is a 40-hour-a-week job where I'm at the office and spending that time, I want to spend that time on establishing these relationships with other creators and planning out the content, and not necessarily transcribing fucking text from a YouTube video, or not necessarily like writing every single email that needs to get sent out to people, or you know, like there's so many little tasks, editing the videos or posting them or checking analytics. Like these are all things that other people should really be working on. I already have people in my corner to do them. I just need to be better as a manager and to bring people on to fill the gaps. So that's what I'll be doing. Please know Prime Kai's is an awful moderator. It's a hypothetical, Brett. Don't get too excited. So get a secretary, maybe at some point. I'm looking for an assistant, but that assistant needs to be a very capable person because I have very high expectations. I don't think we'll fill that position very soon. Okay, let's see what else here. I have a question for you, chat. Did I miss anything, boys? Only my wicked plans for the future. I got lots of plans, okay? Got lots of plans, okay? Wicked Supreme, he tried to milk your viewers. That I did. I most certainly did. So I'm talking more about like what I'm doing in terms of like working with other people and organizing the way that I work, and then trying to, in 2022, expand to do political content that will be researched on traditional fucking sources, not some super duper opinionated websites and stuff. Just do what other people are doing, but better. Bookfucker, I am not letting that tomato sauce go. You ate that shit. What do you think? Do 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 do. No, I didn't. Oh, he wants to sell me a bridge? Yeah, maybe, dude. You're gonna need some bridges, bro, because I hear that you're starting to burn them. Okay, yeah, I talked about how I'm reviewing my last year of content, looking for stuff. That's all part of this plan here, which is creating a rubric for all that. So after I finish watching my old VODs, I'll create a rubric version 1.0, and then I'll workshop that with my stream chat. So I'll bring that on stream, talk about stuff maybe I'm missing or stuff that could be more clear, and then we'll have a rubric. At the same time, we have some other stuff on the far end of this board. Okay. A stream schedule. Oh, you guys will be excited for this one. A stream schedule. I need this. I need to create this and to actually do this. My sleep schedule as of today is officially what I would consider to be fixed. Okay. Yesterday I took a nap from noon until like 6 p.m. if we could call that a nap. And I think I fixed it. I think I fixed my sleep schedule. So now we can have a stream schedule. And a code of conduct, because you fucking chatters do not follow the rules no matter where I post them. So we're going to have a command for the code of conduct, and we're going to have that, and the moderators are going to follow this, as well as the moderator's code of conduct, so you understand why they're doing what they're doing, right? Technically, we already have a private one behind the scenes, but I'm not sure they're really using it, so formalizing it will be good. And then some music stuff that I have to work on later. So that's all that. Okay, I think we're done with all that. Chatter is going to be court-martialed. Let's go. Yeah, bro. I talked about seasonal depression. Okay, I think we've just about done everything. How far into the stream are we? Only an hour and 36 minutes in? That's a Booksmarts record, dude. I got through everything in an hour and a half. God, I'm a fucking monster, dude. How do I manage this? Wait, what bridge did Wicked burn? I don't know, bro. Go watch the stream. I use it. I'm a good mod, I promise. Praise me. Yeah, Vels, you're a good mod. You're a good boy. Don't worry. Eventually, you'll grow up from being a little elf with the triangle hat, and you'll get a real crown, and we'll draw you differently. Now let's talk about anime. No. Don't scare off people, dude. They don't like weebs. That's a persecuted peoples. Let's not talk about that. That's very political. What we're gonna do is we're gonna look at my Discord, because apparently I have 5 messages, all from one person. I'm not going to respond to that. If you're listening right now and you know that you sent me DMs, just know I will hopefully remember, and I will respond to that after the stream, because I do want to think about that and be more emotionally intelligent in my response. Okay, to be honest, I love that sketch so much. It was super adorbs. Thanks. Oh, that's the one thing I didn't do. How do you guys like the drawing streams? How do you guys like them? If you had to rate it out of 5, what do you rate the drawing streams in terms of content out of? I'll wait. Rate it out of 5. I will wait. I will wait for the responses to that, and then we will... it was pretty chill. I agree it was pretty chill. Can you put a number on chill? So far, we have a 3, a 3, a 4, and a 5 if you had a little more chat engagement. I agree. Chat engagement needs to be worked on completely. The monitor was too far off to the side. I didn't work hard enough on engaging with the chat. That's something I could definitely improve. 6.5 out of 10. 5, but I just got here. Okay, well, we're not talking about this. This kind of stream. 3.5, 3.69, 4, 5. The drawing streams are unironically a 4 or 5. Wow. In their current state even. 5 if you listen to something while doing it. True. Way better than gaming. 4, 5, 4 out of 5. I like to draw along with somebody. 10 if drawing weeb stuff. Okay, you're cringe. 5, 3, 3. I think the drawing streams are good if you have something to talk about at the same time. Okay, 3 out of 5. 5, 3.5, because there was not enough drama, not enough mad roast. 4. Okay, I think we could average this out to like a high 3. So I want to do more of those. I didn't want to influence your decision, but I could do those a long time. I could do those a long time. Time just fucking flies when I'm drawing. Like some people look at the idea of Twitch and they're like, man, I wish I could just play video games for a living. Yeah, man, that's fucking cool. I could just fucking game. And I have people watch me play video games. I love playing video games. That's great. Not me, dude. I don't like playing video. I get mad and I don't want people watching me. Like, this is so mean, but my little brother used to want to watch me play video games all the time, and it would trigger the fuck out of me to know that somebody is watching me play, and I hated it. So I still kind of feel that way about playing video games and having people watch, not only watch, but comment on every fucking thing that I'm doing. You guys fucking trigger me. But when I'm drawing, that's completely different. I love people talking while I'm drawing. I love that I have a chat that I can just look at while I'm thinking about something about the drawing. I love that you guys suggest stuff that I could draw. I love that. I really enjoy doing the drawing streams. I love that we can just casually listen to something. I don't feel the need to comment on it every 2 seconds. It feels really chill. We could listen to music. Like, I love drawing streams. They center me, you know? You play games wrong. It's comments like this, okay? It's comments like this. Set a timer. Yeah, I could. I have that noted in my document thing. So one of the things I need to do to improve is create a time for every single request that I have to do. And that way the requests are being done in a timely fashion. It's like a rubric or a requirement that I have on the drawing so that I can do them quickly. And I would check in with the chat in between every drawing, right? So there would be a lot more chat checking at those select points when the drawing is done, which is something I did in the very last one to kind of improve it. But there's definitely a lot of room for improvement in the drawing streams, but I really enjoy them. Draw and put the drawings on merch. That's another thing. I love that you guys are on my same wavelength. Another thing, Mark, the marketing guy, he and I are conspiring. So once the BGG website is up, we could sell stickers, we could sell shirts, we could sell plushies. This motherfucker's got connects. Okay, he knows logistics. He's like the UPS guy. So working with Mark, we could have merchandise that is related to the drawing things, like stickers, super duper easy to produce, super duper easy to send out to people, super easy to manage, good return on investment. So stickers are definitely something I could do. Same with t-shirts. That's easy to set up. It could be very funny. I think having at least one t-shirt at the end of the year that is like all the drawings that we do are the best ones. It's on the back, and then on the front, maybe just like a nice little BGG or something. I don't know. Like that would be cool, and have that every year. Maybe we'll get that done this year. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea. But, something like that would be cool. Putting that stuff on merch would be really fun. What stuff do you draw? Whatever they ask. One of the drawings that we did was Vosh as Jabba the Hutt and Destiny as Leia. Yeah. Picture that in your skull. Another one was the love child of Jesse Lee Peterson. Amazing. And Destiny. So I draw what the people ask for, bro. The people ask for a lot of Destiny stuff. Chat, if you haven't, you need to watch Silly Oh, Jesus, bro. I can see a poster, but a t-shirt should have your logo and not too invasive. I don't know, bro. I want the t-shirt. Maybe I'll make one just for me. I want to buy your Gargura t-shirt. No, bro. I would buy Vosh Jabba the Hutt. Yeah, dude, imagine if I just had a t-shirt that was like, we end up coloring the drawing and it's just a picture of fucking Vosh and Dusty. Yeah, that's the kind of shit that we could put out, dude. You look like you actually enjoyed the drawing stream, and I would love to have stickers of your drawings on my computer. There you go. See? And once we have booksmarts.gg open, we can have polls on which images you want to make it into the stickers, right? You see the fucking business smarts brain going, dude? We need BGG. That is one of my biggest priorities right now. I know I'm working on the rubric and other shit. That's because I cannot help with the website. But if you can help with the website, if you're a developer, if you are a web designer, if you can make wireframes, if you know how to set up payment software, whatever the fuck you call it, payment services, reach out, booksmarts.twitch@gmail.com. I really want that website made, and I'm paying for it. So it won't be an unpaid thing. It could be if you don't want to be paid. Wink, wink, nod, nod. But you know, like, I could use the help. Please reach out. Yep, it's all coming together. Yeah, it is. Is BGG that cult I keep hearing about? It's the cult you haven't heard about. It's the cult in the making, bro. You could do a best of sticker pack, like quarterly or something. Yes. There's so much that we could do, dude. Could do a t-shirt with book smarts written in kanji. Yeah, maybe, dude. Or book fucker. Bookfucker, you're going to be so good at drawing Destiny by the end of this. Oh, my door just slammed. That's scary. And also sub to Booksmarts because money. Yeah. Or donate. Can we pay with crypto? I don't know about that, dude. We'd have to figure that out. That sounds technically complicated. Donations are greater than Patreon, and Patreon is greater than bits, and that's greater than YouTube, than Twitch, I think. No. So donations, super chats, Patreon, yeah, and then bits, YouTube, Twitch. Yeah. My bad. I just repeated the whole list. Mostly because I think that YouTube actually gives me the full amount of your membership. I may be wrong about that, but I think YouTube gives me the full value of your membership. So having it so close to Twitch makes me uncomfortable. Actually, I would say YouTube is better than Bits because Bits is front loading the cost onto you. So you're paying like, I think it's an extra 40% or something for bits when you buy them. Every bit I get is 1 bit to 1 cent, but you're paying up front more. So YouTube might be better than Bits. If you consider it from the client side perspective. Where can I buy Booksmarts t-shirts? On booksmarts.twitch, which will be done soon. The ghost in my house is really mad. He keeps slamming the door. It's really kind of scaring me. I probably have to go make sure that door closes all the way. Bookie, would you sell hoodies or that's not in the cards yet? Even t-shirts are technically not in the cards yet, but at the same time we get t-shirts done, we'll probably get hoodies done. It'd be funny as fuck to make merch incorporating inside jobs like the 2-jab meme. I don't know what any of that means. Inside jokes. Oh, okay, hold on. I'm going to go close that door all the way because it's just like opening and closing. 1 sec. Monka W ghosts? Yeah, I don't like ghosts. Booksmart's entire career was ended by the ghost of grifters past. What does that mean? The ghost got him? Yeah. I had to struggle with the door. One of the first nights that I stayed here, story time, okay? Story time. Because I wrote it down on my phone. That's how scary the fucking dream was to me. So let me go ahead and grab it. I thought I was cursed. I really did. I thought a curse was put on me. So here's where the dream starts. So we're in this tunnel and we're queued up with like a bunch of people in like a subway tunnel, all right? Underground, lights hanging from the ceiling, you know, maybe like a couple people laying across big. Stuff is like moving around to the house. It's very freaky. I think it's the wind, but anywho. So we're in a tunnel, right? Underground. And we go away from this queue of people waiting in line for something. I'm eagerly like taken away by this chubby Mexican fellow. He's Mexican because he speaks Mexican Spanish. That's why it's significant to the story. So he tells me, venga pa' acá, and fucking calls me away from the line. And we go exploring in these tunnels. And we turn a corner and another corner. And then we climb down these stairs. And it's just pitch black. And I can only see like the slightest reflection of him with my phone camera. And then we entered this room all of a sudden. So it felt like we were walking. And then all of a sudden we're in this empty room with lights hanging from the ceiling that are actually on, fluorescent bulbs. And there are these, like, some of the lights are like falling off, right? Like a huge wind had swept through there and knocked them out. And all of this like debris was on the floor, a bunch of files and papers and filing cabinets knocked over. And in the very back corner of this room, everything is still perfect. All the filing cabinets are upright and there's a set of bunk beds back there. And there's a little girl like in the fetal position in the very, very corner bunk. So we have a row of maybe 6 different bunk beds and that back area is weirdly all still intact. So we walk around this lower level, climb up these stairs to that little alcove in that area. And the guy turns around as he's climbing up these stairs and he's like, it's so quiet here. And then it occurs to me that all of the humdrum of the people and of the dripping of water and the flowing of it, all of this is gone, and it's just dead quiet. Like, I can feel my heartbeat and I don't hear anything else. And he goes over and he's like, he started looking at the files on the ground. And by the time we're climbing the staircase, he starts walking over to the girl in the bed. And that's when I start to notice that there are like strollers that are on the ground and blankets and like baby dolls all over the floor. And as he approaches this girl, it seemed like he didn't see her until he like peeked over this bed. And then he looked back at me with this like weird like expression. And then he looks back straight at the girl, and a dog comes out of nowhere and fucking bites the hand that he had on the bed. And a second dog comes up from his left and bites his fucking back, and he falls down to the floor. And a third dog comes in and starts mauling at him on his belly. And I see in vivid detail just the chunks of flesh and of pieces of clothes that are being torn from him as these like black scary dogs start tearing away at him. And as I like run up and try to pull one of the dogs off of him, like I'm not able to, right? And then like I notice, oh, hold on. Like, then I like turn around and I'm like freaked out. And I notice that there's like a puppy wrapped in blankets on the floor. And so I pick up this puppy wrapped in blankets, and it fucking jumps out of the blanket and bites me. And then a second dog bites me on the back, and a third. And like, fucking, I grab one of the dogs and I just instinctively fucking break its neck. And what comes out of it, its jaws split, and then something comes out of it, and just a darkness wafts over me. And I can feel very vividly that I'm being like bitten by these fucking dogs. And, I tell myself, it's a dream, wake up. It's a dream, wake up. Because I'm somebody who used to play around in dreams a lot. Like I used to do the whole like lucid dreaming thing. So I tried my usual tactic to wake myself up. And normally that makes the pain go away. Like you don't feel it anymore. And you start to like slowly come back. And I wouldn't come back no matter how much I recalled myself. And the pain wouldn't go away. And I just kept feeling it. And I felt as more and more teeth just sunk into different parts of me, one in my leg, one in my foot. I looked down and I saw my toe had a chunk bitten out of it, and I was missing a nail on my big toe. And I'm just looking as parts of me are just slowly with bite marks imprinted upon them, and flesh is being torn away. And I just see my naked body being like ripped to pieces, and I'm feeling like every bit of it. And I just keep telling myself to wake up. And then everything snaps to black, and there's a clap like thunder, but not the rumble after. It's just, and then there's darkness, and then there's this like green neon, just sinister looking face that comes out of nowhere. And oh fuck, what is it that it told me? Like there was this like demonic fucking voice, and it says, "This is the curse of this country." And like, then there's just like flashing like strobe lights of like purple and green. And then I woke up, like I just jolted up, and I was like, holy fuck. I was sweating all over, and I was like, no way. In the room, I shit you not, was just silent. I couldn't hear the sound of the cars on the street. I couldn't hear like the rustling of like the blankets in front of me. It was just deafening silence. And then slowly a ringing started to happen, and I could hear again. And I was fucking so scared after this. Like I could not fucking sleep after this. I had to just like stay up. And that's what started fucking my sleep schedule. Cause then I was afraid of sleeping after that. So I just like woke up and I did shit. It was like 3:00 in the morning. I just started going about my day. Like, and it's so scary because like the thing that really stuck with me is I couldn't bring myself out of it. I couldn't make the pain to go away. I was completely out of control. And normally in dreams, when they start going south, I could tell myself it's a dream and pull myself out, and it just wasn't working. And this voice was completely like outside of my control. And so it freaked me the fuck out, like really, really bad. Well, I guess I have to go turn on all the lights in my house now. Did you eat anything you were allergic to, or was it a drug? No, nothing like that.
Sounds like you were stuck in Tsukiyomi.
Maybe it did. Lamau, I didn't notice he was talking about a dream until he brought up the demon stuff. Jesus Christ, you just thought all that was real? Was that your first bad trip? Every trip I have with like LSD is a bad trip. So no, I've been through one too many bad trips probably. Nightmares tend to happen for me personally when my body is fighting something. Oh, okay. Are you sure you didn't eat the pasta sauce? Oh, that's what it was, dude. I ate the pasta sauce. No. Booksmarts, you're psyching me out. Oh, yeah, it psyched me out too. And I didn't want to say this in the moment because I realized I fucked up the interpretation of events. What happened first is the Mexican guy goes to the bed and he starts going up to it and looking at the girl. He looks back at me, and then I look on the ground and I found the puppy. And it's when the puppy bit me that I noticed that he was getting attacked and stuff. And it was the first puppy that I broke the neck of that like split open, and then I was piled on by dogs. But I was trying not to like read this fucking mucho texto BS, you know? Like, yeah, I don't know. Just 'cause it seemed like a lot of text. It was meant for me to read and not you guys. Like I can just read it, I guess, really quick. Queuing in a tunnel for the train, taken away to visit a previously explored portion no one goes to with a Mexican guy. We go downstairs into the rail area and into a place with files and hanging lights. He remarks upon how quiet it is, away from everything. We approach a lit area with beds, file cabinets, strollers, suitcases, and other vagabond-esque materials. As we approach this area, he walks over towards a girl in at the corner, clutching a backpack in front of her, sitting atop a bunk. I notice the strollers are full of small dogs, leashed to them and secured to the floor. Some of the dogs are wrapped in blankets like burritos. As I approach one to pet them, it quickly becomes apparent there's an issue. Once freed from the stroller, it follows me as I back up away from the area. The Mexican remarks upon how something strange and is bitten by one of the dogs. The one I'm holding also begins to bite, softly at first, then rapidly. I grab the small poodle by the harness and bring it in front of me. Its eyes are glazed over and it begins snapping wildly at me and my arms. I firmly grasp its muzzle with one hand and then its jaw with the other. It thrashes wildly as I bring it to the floor, dropping to one knee and force its head behind its back to break its neck. The neck opens up to reveal a sinister eye and a lump of flesh. Small tentacles emerge from its ribs and slap wildly at me. I look up to see the Mexican swarmed by dogs as he screams for help, as he succumbs and falls to the floor, unable to handle the lot of them. Over his screaming, a demonic voice mentions a curse of this country. Then everything goes black, with flashing green and purple light showing symbols and silhouettes of contorted and evil faces. Depictions of ancient evils, demons, and people in pain flash rapidly before me as the pain of bites and thrashing of my back slowly fade back to the small, dark room I'm sleeping in. Unlike my usual nightmares, this one followed me into my waking life. So that's what I wrote, but I think that's more for me than it is for you guys. Mexican dude, burrito puppies. Makes you think. Maybe, bro, maybe. With a Mexican guy, creepy music starts playing. Hey, Bookie, you should draw your nightmare. No, thank you. I kind of don't want to. Anywho, let's get into the primary content for today. Dude, I'm having major deja vu. Yikes, that's scary. Hi, Bookie. What's up, Rose Matos? Let me see. It's time to look at what we came here for, which is the YouTube. Let me open that up here. Let's go into watch later, and then I need to put my Twitch chat in the other window. Now for our presentation, 2 hours in. Well, this is more so like the content that I need to cover or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's just like filler content. I think the main stuff is when I talk, honestly. I tried to look up Romanian folklore related to that, but was unsuccessful. Okay. If you find anything, please don't tell me. Booker, I'm sure you've told this 100 times, but what's the story about you being in Romania? It was just a last minute decision because I need a country. It's not the Schengen zone, so I'm not racking up Schengen time and to chill out and to focus on work. That's TLDR. Okay. Don't worry, Book. I loved every second of the filler content. That's great, bro. I'm happy to hear it. Katz Nelson, are you Katsu or are you not? I never know when I look at your name, and I figure I should just ask. It was some good filler content. Thanks, bro. So we have a few different options here. I hope you didn't go to Bucharest. I did go to Bucharest. Whatever, dude. So we have catching criminals using their relatives' DNA. We have Einstein's, but you know what? I'm going to play the one that I want. Which is this one. Any words of wisdom for my exam in 6 hours? Don't be stressed out or you'll perform worse. When you sit down, you're going to do as well as you're going to do, and you shouldn't think any further about it at that point. Up until that point, make sure you're prepared for it. Okay. Should have went to Cluj. Should have went to not this country. Anywho, I want to watch this. I haven't watched this. Apparently, you're leaning the wrong way. I don't do this. If I ever do this, it's to be fun. Like, because this feels fun. To have your body, like, thrown off of the side of your motorcycle feels fun. But when you're actually, like, touching your knee and stuff, in my opinion, it's just very stressful. Because if you're doing this right, and your knee is, like, touching the ground, and you're going fast enough for this to make sense, like, you feel like you're gonna lay the bike over because you're nearing the peak of how far it's able to go over and all the weight is fucked up. So FYI, your boy Bookie does not do this unless I want to feel like a memer.
Mark Marquez is the most skilled rider, and he definitely leans. Yet, Iron Butts log the most miles, and they stay neutral. Of course, body position is most influential in supermoto, and sumos
Yeah, that shit's crazy. Like, I get that the racing motorcycles is crazy. These supermoto guys are like, I think I respect them more than the people that do the like MotoGP stuff. I really like watching these guys use a motorcycle because it's fucking crazy.
counterlean. How does the same problem with the same rules have 3 different solutions? It doesn't. Gravity always pulls our tire down. The ground normally says, "No way, I'ma push it back up." So we call that normal force. When I turn in, our reference frame starts turning, creating the illusion of a force pushing outward that we call centrifugal. But physics is like politics. It puts real effort into fighting imaginary forces. So our friction patch pushes back inward toward the center of the curve. Gravity, normal, centrifugal, friction. Got it. Of course, friction and ground forces happen down here at the contact patch. But gravity and centrifugal forces operate on the center of mass, which is somewhere, well, it's about here. I'm not saying I have massive testicles or anything.
They're huge. They're too big. It's freaky. It's weird.
Fail to lean, and your gravity and ground forces cancel each other, meaning the friction and centrifugal arrows work together to flip your bike away from the turn. It's enough to flip James Bond, as it were. That's why motorcycles lean, to get their center of gravity and normal forces off axis, so the bike wants to fall down as much as it wants to fall up. Equilibrium. Congratulations! Now we all know how to draw a man humping a football.
Oh, yeah.
But Equally important is that we're poised to answer why one might lean their center of gravity further this way or further this way. So, as the man with two penises says, where would you like to start?
He has so many genital jokes, this one. Educational stream? I love Fortnine's videos. Yeah.
The obvious way to corner quickly is to carve as fast as possible. But one can also enter as fast as possible, pivot, then pull out hard. Giggity. Taking a U or V-shaped path depends on whether you fancy your motorcycle better in a turn or better in a straight line. Consider MotoGP with its bubblegum tires and lollipop curves as the epitome of corner speed. If we want fast centripetal acceleration, we need to force more friction. And if we have more friction, we need to balance that with more gravity. But how? Holding the race on Jupiter would work, but also not. Eating an extra large poutine mid-corner would work, but also not. Adding downforce with aerodynamics does work, but only if you have Ducati's MotoGP budget. Damn, increasing gravitational force is a tad impractical. So why don't we just move it inward where it levers more effectively? And I can accomplish this by leaning the bike more. Though there comes a life-changing moment where one runs out of tires, so we lean our bodies instead. More lean allows for more friction force, creating a faster turn. The only downside is sluggish changes of direction. None of these men are Shakira, so they take a while to move their torsos from one extreme to the other. Hence, rapid pivots are faster when counter-leaning. An upright body never has to move. See, dirt bikes, like most bikes, are stronger in a straight line. So they brake late, counter-lean to get the direction change done quick, then blast out.
So I will say that, like, especially when I have the fucking big heavy bike, like, I like this a lot more. If I'm playing around on a bike like this, I like this more. It feels cooler. The low ending that could happen here, I'm less afraid of than when my knee is to the ground and like I'm in between the bike and the ground, and I feel like it's gonna crush me if it low sides or whatever. So I like this more. I generally have my leg out and stuff. Like if I'm really fucking around on the bike, this is generally what I try to do. I can feel that the bike slips away and that we're like cornering in the way that he described, where you're like bloop instead of bloop. So this is what I like to do. Like that feeling right there of this tire starting to come out up and around your front tire. I love that feeling, especially if you're like at really low speeds and you want to like slide the bike into like a parking spot or something. I love the feeling of that back tire starting to come out into the front. It feels really cool. Too focused on bikes to care about oh shit, hello Stardust people. I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry. I'm fucking is she still in the chat? I'm stonewalling you. I hope she's not in the chat. I'm sorry if you're in the chat or if you're watching this, Anna. I love the memes. I'm a boy that loves memes, dude. I'm so sorry. I'm stonewalling you guys. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to each one of your Twitters and block you. And if you hit me up on Discord, I'll call you fucking crazy, okay? So don't do it. Book loves the torque. I definitely do, dude. I definitely do. Tire walled. Oh, what are we doing? So now we're watching YouTube videos. If you want to check out the VOD, which is always available on YouTube, on my YouTube page, you could do that. And we talked about Wicked Supreme. We talked about Anna. We talked about Aristocracy. So if you're into drama, then you can do that. If you want to check that out later in the day, you could definitely do it later in the day, and I'll have it all timestamped for you. But I would definitely recommend the VOD experience on YouTube because it's a lot better. If your girl Stardust does not dual stream and she is not a partner, tell her that she should, because the VOD experience is a lot better and stuff. You may remember me from my appearance on one of her panels. I will say that that was very, very fun. Actually, let me go ahead and get some clips for the people in my chat that may not have seen it. That was such a fun fucking panel, dude. That was the most fun I've had with a panel in a really long time, because I just don't have fun on panels, you know? I really thought we would be concerned. So, not safe for work inbound, so if I'm on your TV, I would mute it.
Appreciate it enough.
Maybe 2,000 years from now, people are looking.
So context, this motherfucker, your favorite person in the world, was telling us to look up Rule 34 of shit like minions. And I looked up a Rule 34 of a minion, and that minion, well, how do I describe this? That minion had his trousers ripped open, exposing what I initially thought was a butthole. And then I saw that there was a clit. Well, buttholes don't have clits in my experience. That must be something else, although its positioning on the body was very strange. And then I realized that it was holding minion-sized penises. And I don't mean that they were scaled-down penises. I mean that, like, a penis the size of a minion. 2 of them. And I was just disgusted. And so I wasn't... I won't accept this. You definitely were telling us. You definitely were. You may have said some bullshit about like, oh, but don't look it up. It's gross. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You also know what you're doing by directing the conversation to come all the time. Stardust is now gaslighting me. Let's bring up another fucking psychological abuse term. Matter of fact, you're gaslighting me right now, Stardust. And so anything that I say against you after this point, even if it's a lie, you're going to have to let it go, because you know what? I'm a victim of abuse. And so anything I do shouldn't be evaluated. You cannot be judging victims of abuse based on the way they respond to that abuse, because that's fucking toxic and unscientific, okay? So I will not be having it. You're gasballing me. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, Stardust, because you pulled the first fucking... You punched me first, dude. You abused me. And now anything I do is completely justified.
Looking back.
At first, I was like, why does his asshole have a clit? And then I realized he was hugging a giant penis and I had more things to be concerned about.
Where is that?
That was very appealing to Kraut. Kraut, if you know him, he has a YouTube channel. Kraut has this YouTube channel where he talks about history.
This video is sponsored by Synthetic Notes.
He's got that real nice voice, that real nice mic. Yeah, apparently he's like a religious Stardust viewer. He likes it. I like it. It's fun. I love your stream. It's so fun. Okay, buddy. So yeah, that was fun. I had a good time. Oh, German history, man. I didn't know he had a Twitch channel, but yeah. He also dodged me when I was in Austria. Didn't want to hang out. Whatever. He's like, I thought you were one of the crazy people. There's many of those on the internet. Like, okay, Kraut. All right. We talked before. He's like, oh, yes, I do remember. I had forgotten. Like, yeah, bro, you do be forgetting. He doesn't. I was memeing. Oh, okay. I have no idea. But anywho, so we did that. Where was I? Oh, on Twitter? Here? So yeah, we had that. I feel like I had a good opportunity to make everybody in here crack up. That was the highlight for me, is getting people to laugh. I loved getting people to laugh. That was fun stuff. What is this? Oh, if you ever hear us mention pasta sauce, I'm in the top left here. This is why we're talking about pasta sauce. I need some help. Is this tomato sauce good, or is that probably bad?
Probably shouldn't put that in there. It's a bit
Is that Parmesan cheese or something else?
Oh, no, that's my tomato
fuzzy,
sauce.
bro.
I think
That's fuzz.
I opened it, I was hit with a fucking waft of something funky, dude. I don't think that's good.
It's probably fine for a few more days.
I think you're fine. Bad.
See, and that's what a home ec education will get you. That's the value of home ec right there.
We're gonna seal that one up, shake it, and get it for
created COVID-23, dude. You created
man.
COVID 23. It's in
Alpha
that jar,
variant.
dude.
Is that the
Penicillin,
size?
that's
You put it.
dude. You're triggering me.
Why are you putting it back? What are you
This is the one
doing?
who's
Take it
anti-vitamins,
out.
right?
Don't do that. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to pause. A bit. Don't do. You need to go and get that out of.
So, yeah. Didn't you find hair in that? No, I didn't find any hair. It was as long as hair. It was like this long. Like, I don't know how that happened either, because I had used that jar of pasta, I shit you not, like 2 or 3 days prior. It hadn't been sitting in there forever. Like, people were pretending like, oh, that had been sitting in there forever, Booksmarts. You just fucking let shit go bad. No, bro, I had opened that in the last like 2 or 3 days. I don't know how it went bad so quick. It took me a minute to process. Yeah, it was really fucking gross. That's why he had that psychedelic dream. Perhaps, dude, perhaps. I hear other shit in my house, like opening and closing. If you don't know what we're talking about with nightmares and ghost dogs, go ahead and rewind in the VOD. We just talked about that stuff. Also, we talked about this in case you didn't. Oops.
On his behalf is I don't know anybody that put wrong. He's like, actually, Steven is a manipulator because he talks on stream a lot, and
listen, that's how you got to get the. There's not gonna be a lot of incoming views if he just agrees with you the whole way. So I'm.
Damn, this motherfucker. Is this from before or after I gave Dan his fucking verbal whooping this morning? Dan is always talking shit, and every time I come on, that little bitch boy just crawls into a fucking corner and gives up, dude. Every fucking time. He's got all this shit to say, but when I hop in and I give him 1 or 2 comebacks, dude, he's like, I won't even make the comparison that I'm gonna make. He gets real scared and he fucking turtles back into his little shell, dude.
Oh, come on. Booksmarts is not a fucking contrarian for money. Listen. Booksmarts is, I don't know anybody that puts as much time and energy and like really earnest thought and effort into these debate reviews than Booksmarts. You should listen to his workflow. Listen, I'm fucking leaking the logs right now, okay? Secret memes time. I'm leaking all the secret memes. I don't know how forward Booksmarts is about this stuff, so I'll say it on his behalf because it would be conceited for him to say it on his behalf. One time we compared our workflow for doing debate reviews or like doing review-based content or something like that. Booksmarts seriously puts in like probably 10 to 20 hours on a debate review off stream before the review, not counting the actual time it takes to do the review on stream. He does a line by line. He'll listen to a debate, and these debates go for fucking 2 to 4 hours sometimes, or a piece of content. He'll listen to it over and over, sometimes 3 to 5 times, more than twice. He takes notes. He like takes time to meditate between listenings. I don't know any.
Yeah. So it sounds crazy when you lay it out like that, but I do think that that's what makes like a really well prepped review, like the Wolf review, actually good and actually helpful. So I made a promise on this channel as part of improving myself that I won't talk about my feelings about Destiny not watching that review, but I put a lot of work into the reviews, and it's not just like offline work. It's a lot of very intentional stuff, whether it's meditating, whether it's multiple watch throughs, whether it's writing the notes. And that's why the only reason I'm bringing that up to talk about this. If you would like to help me produce this stuff, I need people to help me transcribe all of the dialogue into Notion and chunk it into like helpful text. If you'd like to help with that, thank you for the 3.
Bless. Booksmarts. Here's the down payment for your $2.7 million Orange County mansion. I'm sorry you had to find out what Trump meant with those shithole countries.
Thanks, dude. So, like I was saying, if you want to help me transcribe stuff, I need transcribers, so just let me know, and you could be a part of the process. But that shit just takes too long, and I cannot keep spending that amount of time on every single review. But if I divvy up the work and I just pay for it, we can still have the quality and continue to do that. Yes, I'm down. Are we getting paid? Yes. Have an idea of your rate, whether it's per hour of like transcription, subject material, or per half hour. I don't care. reach out, booksmarts.twitch@gmail.com, and email me your rates and email me what you want to do. If you want to work for free, obviously that's super duper cool. I'm not Hassan. I'm not a socialist. I don't feel bad about taking free labor if it's offered to me. But yeah, if you do want to get paid, I do want to pay for that for sure. So just let me know what your rate is and stuff. But yeah, we talked about him earlier. Okay, now back to this. Back to the real content.
The only question
Do you need prior experience? No. I mean, it's silly monkey work, but remember, if you do not have prior experience, it will take you much longer to type everything out verbatim than it will to watch it. So if something is an hour long, it could take you a lot of hours to type that out. And if you've never done transcription work before, then you have no estimation for how long it's going to take you. So I am going to ask you to give me a rate per minute or per hour of subject content to pay you. So if you're expecting payment and you have no experience in doing it, I would recommend you try to pick some debates, see how long it takes you per minute or per hour to transcribe it, and then get back to me with what that rate is. Do not go blind into giving me a rate, because if you tell me something like $20 per hour of subject, like without knowing how long it's going to take you, that's on you, right? So just think about that, though. Run it through text-to-speech. No, because then you have to change it, dude, and it takes forever. If you want to do it that way, you could definitely do it that way. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm sure there are easy ways. YouTube gives you a bunch of captions. I'm sure there are easy ways that you could get a rough transcription, and then you could just go through and listen to it at 1x and edit everything. There's ways to do that. I don't even want to rack my fucking brain for ways to do that, because it's monkey work that I need not be doing, because I need to do the review and not the transcribing. So if you have a cool workflow that you want to do and you have a price, just tell me, okay? It takes a long time, yes. And like, yeah, TAC can, let you know this. It does take a very long time, and these need to be verbatim quotes, because that's the whole point of doing the line by line. So you cannot just run this through a captioning software. And if I find that within 3 paragraphs of the transcription, you're getting 2 to 3 errors, I cannot pay you for that work. It needs to be verbatim. The only thing I'm okay with you removing are speech impediments. So if somebody, or like, I don't know what the word is for them, but when you use like or right or things like this, like conversation fillers, that's okay to remove, but I really want it to be verbatim. So if you have fuck ups every paragraph or two, you're not who I need for this project. And that's what also makes it to where like you can't just use software. It's not that easy, because that's the whole point. They're called filled pauses. Thanks, bro. I was going to make a mom joke, but I won't. Yes, I would imagine, especially text speech and then editing it. Yeah, it takes forever.
you need to ask is whether an average street bike on street tires on public streets will be faster in a curve or a straight line. The answer is usually the latter, so counterleaning is usually faster.
Okay, counterleaning, huh?
Life-saving evasive maneuvers are quicker when counterleaning. This we know. And if you hit Bambi, or some ice, or your own brakes, the danger in most emergencies is a loss of grip, in which case these forces vanish. This'll slam you to Earth faster than a Chinese rocket, unless... No, that doesn't help. Eileen? No, that makes it worse. Again, we need to counterlean. Yet another reason why riders do it, so they can balance and save. Even the MotoGP monkeys, when they lose grip, will extend their outside leg in a last-ditch effort to shift their center of gravity outwards. It not only saves a dire situation, it can help you avoid one. See, if I'm tucking down here, my view is only left, like Vox. Whereas when I counterlean, I'm high enough to see the whole bloody mess. This is why motor cops are trained to counterlean. Fast, slow. It's the safer body position for seeing, then controlling their emergency situations.
As a retired police instructor and major crash investigator, we teach some unique skills to our police riders and civilian riders, and one of those is counterbalance. So counterbalance is the technique where the rider sits upright and leans the motorcycle over rather than leaning in with the motorcycle. This changes composite center of gravity of the bike and improves the stability of the motorcycle. We see this in low-speed techniques really easily, but at high speed, this same effect happens to give us improved balance, vision, braking, and stability.
Counterleaning might look wrong to most riders, but the finest know it's usually right.
And in case you didn't know, for context, when he's talking about finest, like, cops are some of the most competent motorcycle riders that like exist. Like, if you've never watched like a training program for cops that do motorcycle training, police motorcycle training, like, this is really crazy. Jesus, this is the video that he's using. A-cab? No, fuck off with your stupid A-cab shit, dude. They're at least good motorcycle riders. Oh, he's pushing that shit. You can hear it dragging, dude. Oh. Like, as somebody who I don't know if this translates to people that don't ride motorcycles, but like, if we compare this to the test to get a motorcycle license, which some people actually have to train for, DMV motorcycle test, like, this is a very simple test in comparison. It's like, it looks like a free throw little loop-de-loop thing that you do. Let's see. I wonder if any of these are like gonna be, I think this one might be the best one.
Okay, guys, here we are in
Jesus
DMV. I know some of you guys, and
yeah. So it's this little thing. It's got a loop at the end and whatever. This little loop, like, when I tried to do, so the motorcycle that you try to do this test on is going to really impact how well you're able to perform. We're breaking out paint. We are breaking out paint, ladies and gentlemen. It is paint time. Let me make sure that's working. It is. All right. Oops. Can we make you big? File new. I'm going to do it with the mouse because I don't have my tablet on hand. So basically, whoop. This is the course. Okay. You're going down this. So there are cones here, whatever. You're going to need a loop in between these cones with the bike, pull through this circle without going outside of it. And then I believe you go back through these. This loop is really tough because if you are on a motorcycle that does not do well at low speed, so if you have something like a little scooter, I don't know, maybe it looks something like this, right? You have like a little scooter, boop, boop. A scooter is fine. A scooter can handle this stuff at really low speeds because you can turn the scooter like this, boop, 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 boop. That's way leaned, but like you can do the lean and you can do it really easy. You can stick a foot out and you're going to be fine. You can't touch the ground, but you can hang your leg out. You get, you can swip that bitch around. You can flip her. If you have a sports bike, right? That's very, very different. The sports bike is really rigid between the two tires, and you don't have a lot of play with how far you could lean the bike over. So if this is your bike, right? Motorcycle handlebar, whatever. It can't do that. It can't do this part very well because you have like a straight line, and once it's flattened, like it really wants to like go outside all the time. So you're constantly working to like not get it to go outside of here. So with the sports bike, it's way hard. Now, depending on the big bike that you would have, so if you have like a big boy bike with like things on the back and stuff, a big sissy bar back here. A whole other thing. If you have like a really huge motorcycle, this can make it difficult as well. You really want to do it with a scooter because it would be super duper easy. And some people in some places in California will rent you a scooter for the day just to take the test because it's much easier with the scooter. Even this in between part, you have to really understand the bike and have practiced this to be able to go through all these. Those police cruisers have a long wheelbase, plus they're super heavy. Yes, which makes it really, really difficult. So wheelbase, that's what we should really talk about. Scooters have a very small amount of space between these two. A motorcycle that is a sports bike has a really, really long one in between these two. And if you're talking about like a police cruiser or something like that, it's super duper long as well, and it's super heavy. So if you tilt one way or the other too much, you are more apt to drop the bike, which is another factor in here, whereas this is super light. So if this is like, I don't know, very, very light, this is getting heavier, and then this is like super duper heavy, right? So you're getting heavier and heavier as well with having that longer whatever. So it's just, it becomes physically difficult depending on the bike that you pick. Referring to what you said about your seasonal depression, is there anything we can do to help? No, just don't be mean to me.
So, first part of this test is swerve through these cones, starting with the right-hand side. And then we're going to go around the circle twice.
Oh, that's right. You have to do it twice, which makes it even harder because you can't fudge it when you come out. So you have to circle in this circle twice. So if you have this little circle, you need to go around it once, twice, and then out. So if you're just fudging it so you can just barely make it in between these cones at the end of it, you can't because you have to loop it. That's right. Fuck. It makes it so like, it looks so simple, but depending on your bike, it can be really difficult. I remember spending a day at the DMV over the weekend with my mom and just her watching me constantly low side the bike, especially on this part. The couple of times where I was like reliably making it through without flukes, like it was such a celebration because holy shit, I just kept low siding the bike and dropping it. And it was just cringe. Like I was so worried about fucking up my bike.
And come back down through the cones. Here we go. Nice and slow. Work your clutch the whole time. I've actually got my back.
Like, look at how long this motorcycle is. So you really have to think he doesn't have a lot of time in between these cones to maneuver the bike. So if we watch him just one more time.
Your clutch the whole time. I've actually got my...
You're really thinking about where is my back tire? I need to make sure it's on the other side before I get to here. So you're not really thinking about the front end as much as you are your back tire because you're trailing this back tire and that's what needs to clear these cones. So you're only maneuvering that front tire enough so you can do that. And like he said, you need to have good clutch control. So you need to be engaging and disengaging the motor more than you're playing with the throttle or the brakes. So this is a test more so of the clutch and of your low speed steering than it is your speed. And this is why I tell people who get a motorcycle without taking the motorcycle test at the DMV that they're a slur that I'm probably not allowed to say on Twitch because it's ableist. Okay? You are that. If you are not going and taking your motorcycle test, because if you are not able to pass this motorcycle test, it means that you don't have a good enough understanding of the fundamentals of using a motorcycle, or at the very least of the motorcycle that you are on. So I think that this, in combination with California's safety course, which you can take where you go with police for, I think it's 2 or 3 days over the weekend, and they train you and test you on their own motorcycles so you could drop them, fuck them up. You learn how to do emergency stops. You learn how to do high speed and low speed turns. You learn how to do counter steering. You learn all of the way that the sciencey things work on the bike, like what Fortnine talks about. So I think that taking a safety course that is sponsored by your local police department or the state police department and taking the motorcycle test are two things that you should do regardless of the state that you live in or the country that you live in, because it's really necessary. And you don't realize how little you understand about the motorcycle or about the bike or about riding until you take those tests. And I would encourage you, and I do this personally, to then take the higher version of those test courses after a year or two of riding. So take the advanced motorcycle safety course, because that's going to teach you way more scenarios for emergency braking or for traction loss or for cornering or a lot of other techniques that are higher level, and you're going to want to be comfortable on the motorcycle before you're doing them. And you can bring your own motorcycle to the course and practice on your own motorcycle. So for instance, if I get a new bike, it's helpful for me to go to the motorcycle course and take the advanced safety course so that I can be more comfortable with that. So I know the stopping distances on the bike at different speeds, and I can learn that stuff because it's different for every bike. Really good educational React topic. Hey, yeah. Motorcycle safety is something I'm really passionate about because I have lost friends on motorcycles. One of the most, I guess, dramatic ones, and you may have known this because at the time that I told this story, Destiny had come in the chat and memed about motorcycle safety, and it was really cringe. I lost a friend on a mountain ride, and he like literally passed away in my arms because he was being unsafe and reckless during our ride. So I'll explain that just really quickly. Let's switch scenes here. So we're on a mountain, right? We're on a mountain and we're coming down, and there is this hill, right? Bloop. And at the end of the hill, there's a sharp turn and a bridge. Okay. That's part of a canyon, maybe, that goes up to the mountain. And then after this bridge, there's like a whole little town. Okay. So you need to slow down before you hit the town and before you get down there. But this is the very end of the motorcycle trail that is up and looping through the mountains and doing a bunch of fun stuff. So at the very end, people want to be as fast as possible and hit this last corner, because then after that we have to go very, very slow, and it's this windy neighborhood road and there's police there. And so you want to get out your last little bit here. Now we're riding. So this is your boy Booksmarts. I don't know. It's hard to draw motorcycles with the mouse. So this is Booksmarts. I'm behind my friend, who we will refer to as F. And then in front of us is, we'll call him DH, short for dickhead. And then behind us, we have even more motorcycles, okay? I think we had at least like 3 other people who were behind us. So what happens is dickhead goes down this thing at like maybe 50 to like 60, slows super duper fast on this, takes it as hard as he can. And what happens is, if you have a road, right? And it loops, right? What a motorcycle can do if they're being irresponsible is they take the corner wider than it is on the road. So you're dipping into oncoming traffic because you're not treating the length of the road as this. You're treating the length of the road as this. So the guy that's in the very front, who sets the speed for the person behind him, although, and this is major advice to you, if somebody in front of you in a group ride is going faster than you are comfortable with, if you're on intercoms, tell them. Otherwise, move to the back of the pack and realize that you do not need to follow at the same speed that they are going, right? Especially if you don't feel comfortable doing that. And I think that my friend was getting a little too comfortable with that. So he hits this going about the same speed, maybe 50 to 55. And rather than taking this kind of dangerous thing that this guy did, the dude in front of him maybe went like this. What my friend does is he takes it like this, way out here. And you have several different things that could explain why he ended up way out here. So number one, there is a car coming on the opposite side on this bridge here. Okay? So there's a car coming on the opposite side. He is already here and he's going super duper fast, and there's no way he's slowing down both enough to make the turn without going into the other lane and to avoid this car. So I think that by the time this car gets to about here and he's at about here or just beginning the turn, that he sees the car and may brake or may pull on the clutch. Now, when you're in a motorcycle, so the faster you go, the more lean you're going to need, right? The faster you go, the more lean you're going to need on the motorcycle. And so when you go into a turn, you need to make a calculation in your head for how fast am I going? You're not allowed to apply the brakes because you're going to fuck up this balance of like what your lean is versus what you're calculating for the turn. And you're not allowed, or you kind of shouldn't pull in your clutch. But this is a way that you can kind of reduce speed. All of your braking and all of your clutching should happen on this period before you hit the turn. You should adjust all of your speed before you go into the turn, because once you go into the turn, you basically have to commit. The only thing that you can do is you can up your speed. Okay? Hey, everybody. It's not going to be good drawing because I'm using this. Thanks for the fish molly. Cherry, thank you for the raid. We're talking about a bit of a doomer thing. So basically I'm saying, why do I care about motorcycle safety? Because we just watched a video about motorcycle safety. We talked about the DMV test. And now we're talking about why I care about motorcycle safety, which is because I lost a friend. So we were on a mountain trail, right? And we're getting to the final corner of the mountain before we then have to go into this neighborhood, and the speed has to be regulated. There's police there, yada, yada. So Dickhead, who's leading the pack of our motorcycle friends, he's going really, really fast on this last turn because it's the last turn. He's going maybe 50 or 60 downhill into a turn. And the friend who is following him with Booksmarts close behind is going maybe 50 to 55. So he's going about the same speed. Both are too fast. So what happens with yellow or red or orange, which is the Dickhead goes outside of the lane that he's allowed to be in. He doesn't follow this here. He follows this here. So he treats the entire road as his area that he can be in. Okay. And he calculates his lean accordingly. Friend, who's behind him, is not as good on motorcycles, is not as familiar with his bike, and he goes way out to here. And we're talking about why that is. Well, he makes this calculation for how much lean I have, how much space I have, how I'm going to negotiate this turn. And while he's doing that, he sees that another car is in the opposite lane, is crossing the bridge, and is coming into this turn. So he likely did one of the things that you're not allowed to do in a turn. He likely applied the brake or applied the clutch. And doing that means that you need to lean over even more. It means that you're going to have to do even more to keep the bike in its course. Otherwise, you're going to veer off. So if you hit the brake before you go into a turn really, really fast, you're just going to go outside of the turn. So what he could have done is increase the speed and then increase his lean, and he could have maybe kept it in, or he could have low-sided. He could have dropped the bike. But this is counterintuitive, which is why I encourage people to go to these motorcycle safety courses so you can learn that sometimes the counterintuitive solution is the only one that you have. So technically the only option he had would be to increase his speed. But remember, he's already braking. He's already going way faster than he's able to navigate this turn here. So that's not even really a good option for him. And I don't think that he made that option. I think he braked or he did his clutch. So what ends up happening is he crashes. So if this is the front of the car, boop, 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 boop. His bike completely smashes and crumples like a Coke can into the front of this car. And it breaks into a million pieces. He goes off the seat, smacks into the corner of the top of this cab, and goes over into this little ravine area here. And Booksmarts is the only motorcyclist in our entire group that had pulled over for him. None of the 3 people that were behind us pulled over. I think one of them did, and then he left after seeing what had happened to him. So dickhead, because he's going super fast, not paying attention to all of us, keeps going. The guy behind me keeps going. The guy behind him keeps going. This guy, I think, pulled over, saw what had happened, and then went to the front to try and tell dickhead that somebody had crashed. Then the guy that had gone and told the guy that had crashed came back, told me, I'm sorry, I don't have my motorcycle license. The police are probably coming and I don't want to be around when they show up. So he takes off as well. Nobody stays for my friend but me. And so who has to go pull him out of the ravine? I do, with the help of one other bystander who had stopped. Another really sad thing is that a truck way up here on the mountain, okay, we'll call him T for truck, he had pulled over to the side of the road. So he had pulled over and like let us pass. Okay. And we thanked him and we kept going like way faster than we probably should have been going. So truck guy pulls off to the side and lets us pass. Truck guy, luckily, is a firefighter. Okay. So he knows emergency first aid and stuff, but he regrets so bad having let us pass because we continued to pass and drive super recklessly down the mountain just before this had happened. So he feels really bad. You know who else feels really, really bad about this happening? These people that were in the car that had hit him, because they don't know if it's their fault. They had stayed on their side of the lane. They were right here, but he had crashed into them, right? Because he's driving super recklessly. And what piles out of this car? Is it a single driver? No. Is it a driver and a passenger? No. An entire family comes out of this car totally shaken up by the entire experience. And they have to stay the entire time seeing my friend gurgle up blood, seeing us pull him and his mangled body out of the ravine, and questioning the entire time if it was their fault. The only thing I could keep repeating to them was that was his mistake. Don't think that's your fault. You didn't do this to him, right? So when something like this happens and you chose to be unsafe, which is what this friend did and this guy did, and these guys were assholes, when you choose to be unsafe, it doesn't just affect you. It affected the truck driver that let us pass. It affected every single person in this car, right? The kids that were in the back. It affected the driver, most certainly. It affected the passenger that had to see that happen, right? It affects every bystander that has to come on the side of the road and see that happening. It affects everybody that day. So when you're making very selfish decisions to be unsafe on the road on a motorcycle, you may think that you're just risking your life, but you're not. You're risking the effect that you have on other people with that accident. You affect the firefighters that have to come and save you or take you to the morgue. You affect the people that were in your riding group. You affect bystanders. You affect the person in the car that killed you, right? Like, you affect so many people with your reckless decision that's why I push for safety. That's why I think it's important, right? So if I'm ever like super serious about motorcycle safety, this is why. Is because I've lost not just this friend, but a lot of other friends on the motorcycle. And I feel like it's very important that we like encourage safety. And that's something that like we make clear anytime we're talking about motorcycle stuff. So anytime motorcycles come up on the channel, I try to push safety because I think it's super important. Yeah. Oh boy, did I join at a bad time? Not necessarily. It depends on what you consider a bad time. New Venom movie triggered me so bad when Eddie Brock never buckles up his helmet, drives like an asshole doing wheelies through town, and gets emotional and plays chicken with the car on the highway, basically trying to, yeah, that kind of shit always triggers me in movies. And like other random stuff triggers me now too. Like I have some PTSD from that incident as well. Like there is this scene in Princess Bride where to bring the guy back, they get this like, what is it called? It's like a pump that like pumps air. It looks like, oops, here, let's draw it on here. It looks like this. Oh, fuck. they like put this in his mouth. Bellows. Yeah, bellows. So there's a scene where they put bellows in his mouth. And now every time that I see that, like the bellows thing, it like immediately triggers like remembering this like handheld device that we used to try to like pump blood out of his lungs. And man, it was such like, because like there was a fire truck that came and they only had this like mechanical, or they only had this like hand pumped bellows thing. And so I had to hold his mouth open, and they had to try and put this down into his throat to try and pump the blood out. And it was just like not working at all to get the blood. It's not an intubator, to try and pump the blood out of his lungs. And it wasn't working at all. And they were like, fuck, man, if we had like a mechanical version of this, maybe we could clear his lungs. But like that was just something that stuck with me, was like, I mean, I looked like a fucking, like I had massacred somebody afterwards because there was just so much fucking blood. Anywho, like, yeah, this stuff will stick with you. It still sticks with me, right? And these are the consequences of not being safe on the road. And you have to like consider that stuff as well when you do this. You have to consider the family that you leave behind, right? Like after this, I had to go to the friend's house with all of his, you know, family and explain what had happened, and to tell them that it was his fault, and to tell them like in excruciating detail how it had happened, and to lack questions for like, why was he going that fast into that turn? Like, you know, like why was he being unsafe? These are questions I don't have answers to that these people are asking me, right? Like you leave behind so much stuff. And I don't think that people realize that when they make these reckless decisions on motorcycles. So that's just stuff to keep in mind, right? It's probably a wound pump vacuum. Maybe, bro. Do you think if he went off the road, maybe he could have had a better chance? Or was it kind of a drop off? I mean, it was like a little ravine. So maybe, I mean, he smacked the corner of this car on the frame pretty fucking hard. Like he had like a European rated helmet, which is better than our DOT certification. And his noggin was definitely busted because he had a bunch of blood on his head and inside of his helmet. So I'm not sure. Maybe it would have been better that he didn't crash into this and that he tumbled down the ravine. But a whole bunch of parts of him were broken. He had I think he had like a broken leg or a broken ankle. Cause I remember when I pulled him out of this bush, cause he was just like mangled in a bush down in this ravine. I remember the first thing I said when we were like carrying him to where the road was like, oh no, his leg is broken. Like we need to get help for his leg. And the dude who was at the head end, who had seen all the blood and stuff, was like, that's the least of our concerns right now, because he was fucked up in his helmet as well. And so that was more worrying. But I just remember this just ghastly clicking that his leg was doing as I was carrying him, and how it wasn't bending the right way. And just, he was definitely broken and stuff. So maybe he still would have broken bones if he would have fell down there, but maybe he wouldn't have busted his head on the top of the car, perhaps. I'm not sure. Did he survive? No, he was dead. Do you think it's worth getting a bike for general travel, or is a car better and a bike more for people who like bikes? I mean, I still ride motorcycles all the time and I prefer it over a car. So maybe, I wouldn't be able to tell this story without falling apart. Well, remember, I've had to tell this story a lot, right? Like this was really hard telling his family, because all of his family had gathered in this house, and his mom had lost the dad, like during their marriage. The dad had died, so she lost the dad. And now losing her son, that was all of the men in her life that had just left her by dying. So that was really, really sad. And seeing his sister for the first time, who he had like spoken about so nicely, and the circumstances under which we finally meet is like this super negative thing. I think another really tough one was calling people. So his phone was locked, right? His phone was locked. So I had to call people on my phone, and I had to just call people until I could get his mom's number, because I wanted to tell his mom what had happened to him and that he wasn't going to be coming home. And eventually, when we realized that we couldn't resuscitate him, I had to tell somebody that he wasn't going to a hospital. And so I ended up calling one of his mom's best friends, who was another one of our friends' moms. And I remember this was one of the hardest things to say. Is she asked, what hospital is it? Like an ambulance is there. What hospital are they taking him to? And I had to tell her that they're not taking him to a hospital. The coroner is here to take him away, because he was declared dead at the scene. And that was one of the most difficult things to say, was like, he's not going to a hospital, right? Because it was unclear to her at that time, like, what the extent of the injuries were and stuff. And I didn't communicate that well until that moment. And that was very, very difficult. And again, if we're thinking about the impacts that this had on people, that mom one has to then call the real mom, who lives here, right? And now she's involved with this, right? And then everybody that mom is involved with this, because she was broken after this. So any people she knows that are friends are involved with this, right? So this decision had an impact on so many different people. And it took a while to get this mom's number. I had to call, if you've ever seen him on stream before, he was one of the first people I had on stream, Cliff. He's one of my good friends from, we didn't know each other super well in high school, but we got to know each other afterwards. I had to call Cliff. Cliff didn't believe me. Cliff thought I was memeing, that Patrick, my friend, had lost his life. All of my friends just could not believe me that it was happening. There was a huge barrier of them thinking I was kidding or something that I had to get over until I could eventually get the number for this person's mom to then contact his mom. So yeah, it was just, it was a very difficult situation. All of those calls destroyed me. I still had like blood all up in my fingernails and stuff, and my hands were shaking, and I had to go down to the town to get reception. And it was like, this whole thing was just super traumatizing. And I still remember like every moment of it super vividly, even today. And it's just, I'm never going to forget it. Did you get to talk to your friend? You say he died in your hands, but if you hit his head that hard, I would think he would be in a daze. No, I didn't get to talk to him. I just saw him really fight to breathe and gurgle blood, and his eyes would roll around. Yeah, he definitely wasn't all there. But yeah, that's all I got out of him was gurgles and stuff, because he was choking on blood. I almost think I'm traumatized just listening to this. Jesus, yeah. Also, thanks for talking about something like this. Really cool. Yeah, just keep this in mind. If you ever do motorcycles and you do stupid fucking shit, like, just don't do stupid shit. Like, it's no secret that Too Mad does stupid stuff on his motorcycle, and it's just one thing I roast him for all of the time, and I don't think he understands. Like, it's literally triggering to me to see like videos of his where he does stupid shit on the motorcycle. Because if Too Mad were to die, like, that's another person I add to the list that I know that were doing stupid shit on the motorcycle and then died because of it, you know? Like, it just bothers me so much. I remember, like, one time this friend of ours, he was splitting on the freeway, which is where, like, if this is like the center divider, right, that splits like traffic that's going this way from traffic that's going this way. And then you have a carpool lane, which is a lane that nobody's allowed to enter only at like specific times. And you have to have like a particular amount of people in your car to do it. Right. So this lane here. In California, you're allowed to split lanes, which means you're allowed to hug this side of it and you're allowed to move past cars. Some people think this is dangerous. It's not. It's more safe than being stuck in between cars, because cars don't see you. And if you get rear-ended going 60 or 70, or in California, 80 or 90 miles an hour, you're just dead. You're going to get squished. So it's much better that you hang out here, even at stoplights and stuff. That's rear-ending for a motorcycle results in so many injuries that it's much better that you're not in the path of a car. And it's more efficient, right? So if you have bumper-to-bumper traffic, it's way safer for you to be in here than for you to be in here. Anywho, he was going 95 miles an hour, splitting when traffic is going 30 to 40 miles per hour. And a car was staggered just so that he clips their mirror, loses control of the bike, and tumbles between like 6 or 7 cars that are like in bumper to bumper, like moving traffic at like 30 to 40. Not bumper to bumper, obviously. They have space in between them. But he manages to hit like 6 to 8 cars or some shit like that. And he talks about how much he hates this fucking asshole for being too far to the right. Like, no, motherfucker, you could not respond to one car being staggered, not on the line, mind you. He was very specific to say it's not like the guy was on the line. He was just too far to the right. You are going 95 miles per hour. You do not have the reaction time to brake or to move or to maneuver the bike such that you won't hit them. You should only be ever going like at max, maybe like 10 or 15 miles an hour faster than the way the traffic is going. Just because you have what looks like a clear right of way does not mean that you should take that going as fast as you can. Like, because even if this car, there was a brake, and this car blinkers, it looks in its mirror, there's no cars behind it that are blocking it, it has space to go over to here, there's no cars here. Even if it were to do everything right and move over into this lane, you would not have the reaction time to stop in time to not rear end it, right? So like, that's why you shouldn't be going faster, because even if this car is following all of the rules, you could still run into it because your dumbass is going so much faster. Like, why do people not follow speed limits in the US? People tend to stick under 105 here, limit 100. So it's just a cultural thing. In California in particular, the entire freeway goes faster than the speed limit, even if you're in the far lane. So realistically, you're going to go faster in the speed limit if you're not a nuisance to other drivers. Like, you're going to go with the flow of traffic. So at least in California, it's pretty regular to, when traffic is flowing regularly, to even when the speed limit is 60 or 65, to go like maybe 70 or 80 is pretty normal. And if you don't, then people are angrily going around you and stuff because you're like holding up traffic. So I don't have an answer to you. It's just a cultural thing that people go much faster than the speed limit. And then when you have a multitude of cars going faster than the speed limit, you kind of have to go at the same rate. But yeah, so, and he was talking so much shit on this car here, and it just fucking triggered the fuck out of me, dude. I had a roast that we have not seen since the fucking biblical days that I laid upon him for his fucking stupidity and for all of the people whose days that he ruined by crashing into them with his fucking bike. And all he could talk about was how he was mad that he broke his arm and that he can't like, I think he was saying something stupid. It was something about sex. I don't even remember what it was, but he was saying how like, because his arm is in a cast, he can't do sex stuff, and fuck this guy in this fucking car and blah, blah, blah. And I fucking snapped, dude. I could not handle it anymore, because at the same time he's bragging about how fast he normally splits lanes and how he's gone years and years splitting at 95 or 90 without having a problem until this motherfucker ruined his shit. And it's like, yeah, at least he didn't die. Exactly. And then I have to lay on this story about my friend to him. Like, dude, you know what? My friend fucked around at 60 miles an hour or 50 miles an hour and he's dead. So, you know, like, you're so fucking privileged in so many ways that you got away with this for like 2 years. You're sitting here telling the tale with nothing but a broken arm and like a blackened eye. You fucked up all of these cars with your fucking motorcycle, and you're blaming the guy that did nothing wrong. Like, you need to realize that this is the problem here, motherfucker. Don't get back on a motorcycle if you're gonna do this. If you don't realize that this was the variable that fucked this whole situation, then maybe you lack the IQ necessary to ride a fucking motorcycle, because that's unbelievable to me. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yep, that's all it takes. One little mistake from you or the other person on the lane, and bam, your life can change in an instant. Yeah, you should be able to respond to these things, right? So you should go fast enough to do that. I love it when book gets biblical. That's some heavy dose of copium. Yeah, it's fucking annoying, dude. Anywho, when I started motorcycling to save money, a friend of mine and a cousin were inspired to get bikes too. They're both irresponsible idiots about it, and I'm dreading so much when they get in a serious accident. Yeah. I had a pretty bad car wreck at 17. I don't fuck around at all with driving ever since. Yeah, I tend to not fuck around on the bike ever since that one experience. Like sometimes, oh man, I don't know. Maybe if you have like PTSD, you can kind of relate with me here. Like sometimes when and this is why I can't enjoy doing like canyons and stuff anymore. Sometimes when I'm like coming up on like a corner, like, or I'm in a corner, right? And I see a car even way in the distance on the opposite side, and I'm like coming up on it. When I see this, like, I don't know, maybe this is my first person view. Here are my hands. When I see a car coming, it's like every picture, like of the friend and him laying on the floor and the crunching of the motorcycle into the car and the poof of debris that happened when that happened, his body just like starfishing out over the side of the guardrail and like into the bushes, the crack of his leg when we pulled him out, like everything comes through in like sensory overload at once when I see a car coming on the other side. And like, I know it's my brain protecting me and telling me to like stay on my side of the lane and whatever, but like now this never goes away, right? Like I have this maybe forever. I don't know if this will ever go away. And my therapist says it might never, ever go away. Like maybe there's hope for it at one point, but like now I'm stuck with this forever. Right. And that's why I can't enjoy like doing blind corners and stuff anymore. Cause even if I stay in this lane, if I see a car come, like sometimes I'll have to pull over to the side and like I'm having a panic attack because because of this and because of all of this flashing at once. And like I could tell the story to you and I'm fine if I can take it slow. It's that all of this happens in like a few seconds and like pulsates and doesn't stop, that it really throws me for a loop. And then I have to get control of my breathing and do all this stuff. And like sometimes I have to get off the bike to like really, get control over all that. So I can't do like super windy roads super fast anymore. I can't enjoy canyons even if I'm being safe because like this is totally unsafe having to pull over all the time. When did that happen? I think it was 2018. So yeah, 2018, I believe it is when it happened. 2018 or 2016. I think it was 2018. But yeah, I literally can't even drive anymore because of my experiences of success. Yeah, it's not fun. What panel was STRDST on? I have no idea, dude. So yeah, my bad. YouTube, I was making myself an adult beverage. No worries. Even experienced people can get too much vehicle for them in cars or bikes. First day, one of my coworkers took an e-bike through a plate glass window. Jesus Christ. Do you have an opinion on parents who drive with their child on the back of their motorcycle with them? It seems to make a lot of parents angry or weary from what I've heard. I don't care what other people do with their kids. Human reaction time just not fast enough for these speeds. Yeah, it's really not. You're relying on like instincts, and chances are you have not trained those instincts to be good, So I don't know. Anywho, that's that. Maybe we should be done with the stream for today. Hey, Book, what is it you actually enjoy about driving motorbikes? It just feels really good. Like this connection between you and the machine. Like I feel everything. I feel both the tires. I know the dimensions without thinking about it. There's such a quick connection between my throttle and the amount of energy that's giving to the back tire of the bike. I have brake controls for both the front and the back independently, and they operate very differently. Like shifting and having control over the gears. It's about control. Like this kind of relationship between me and the machine, it feels like a man and a horse. Like I feel like there's this synergy between me and the machine that I like a lot. And when I used to push it more on the bike, like I used to be more like an aggressive rider, I guess. Like when you hit those moments where the bike fails, I am like weirdly attracted to those moments in a very unhealthy way, which is why I said I like when the back end can slip out going like at a very low speed. Like I like drifting into like a parking spot and pulling the back tire like that or locking it up. Like I like those moments where you can feel the connection between the bike and what is possible, and you're teetering on that connection. That's really, it feels really cool. Granted, it leads to moments like what happened with my friend. That's why I don't indulge in them outside of like low speed stuff now. But that's really fun. Or the feeling of when there's so many of these moments. So when your back tire slips up, when the brakes lock, when you hit a corner and you're going as low as you can and you hear the bottom skid, or you touch your knee to the ground. Also, when you give it so much gas that you feel the front tire come up. And I'm not talking about doing a wheelie. I'm talking about like when you go so fast off the start that your tire is like mere inches off of the ground, your front tire, and you just feel it slowly lift up and the bike go. Like, these sorts of things feel really cool. But beyond that, just the connection with the bike and the connection with the machine day to day. I really like that. Like, the Triumph is really nice, my motorcycle that I have back home, for that stuff. Like, I love feeling that that slight bit of drag that there is, or the slight delay between letting on the throttle and the power to the back. I love when it's rainy a little bit and I can feel that the road is slippery. I like feeling the difference between paint and asphalt. Like all of that, I like it a lot. I love when you turn in a corner and you feel your gut move and you feel the weight of the bike and your ass gets pulled into the seat and outwards and you're leaning over and you got this whole setup in front of you. I love wearing the helmet. Like, everything about the experience I love. I love putting on my gloves at the beginning and my jacket and making sure the helmet strap is tight and like having my breath inside of the helmet and my music, and like all of it is just a very fun experience to me. And I would hate to have to give that up. So that's why I enjoy the motorcycle. It's really like every part of it. Same with bicycling, but it's all low speed. Interesting. Which model? Fuck, have I forgotten? It is a, let me look it up to make sure. It's a speed triple. I just don't know what year it is. Or what model. I think it's like a 2001. I think I've had pictures of it on the channel before. It was the bike that James Bond had. Which I swear to God I learned afterwards. I did not know that at the time. Here you go. So it's a Speed Triple 955i. So it looks a bit like this. I actually think I have pictures on my phone, don't I? I should. But yeah, it's a very nice. It's a very nice bike. Let's see. Favorites. Oh, yes, I do. Okay. There we are. Let me make sure this looks good on stream. There you go. That's my baby. There's my baby. I love it so much. It's such a fun bike. So yeah, that's what I have. Dude, Pog. Yeah, I think it's a Pog bike. I really like it. Damn, a triple. What a power brand. What? It's a Triumph. I think Triumph is the brand. A nice triple spoke Shuriken wheels. Damn, a triple. Very easy to disconnect from how close you could be to death. I guess. Cars are so comfortable you can fall asleep in them. You're so disconnected from the fact you're flying through the air at ungodly speeds. Oh, believe me, when I'm in somebody else's car, especially after having used the motorcycle for a long time, I definitely feel how crazy it is that we're just zipping along at the speed we are. Do you have both a car and a motorcycle, or just motorcycle? Just motorcycle. What's the fuel consumption? What's interesting about the Speed Triple is that you put... the lowest tier of gasoline in it. So it takes the lowest tier of gasoline. When I fill it up, it costs me anywhere between $10 to $12. And I think that gets you like 3 gallons of fuel, maybe a little bit less. So I don't know what that is in commie units, but there you go. And I think you get anywhere between 100, if I'm being really crazy with it, to like 150 or 160 miles before I have to fill it up. So I'm kind of sad I'll never ride a motorcycle on a highway and blast Detroit Rock City or some motorhead. Oh, you mentioned settling down. Do you think you will hang up the gloves if you have kids? That's a conversation between me and my future spouse. I think the spouse would have more of a problem with that than I would have. Did you bring your bike with you to the EU? No. What CC engine? 955, right? Isn't that why it's called 955? Let's see. It has, a 955cc engine. So just under a liter. I had an R1100, which is an 1100cc BMW bike. But if you have a chain-driven motorcycle, you're getting all that you could get out of that engine, like comparably to whatever else you could have. If you have a shaft-driven bike, I think the power that you're getting out of it is decreased by 20 to 30%. And the BMW had an 1100cc engine, but because it was shaft driven, it didn't feel like that. It drove around like a Civic. It was a big hulky bike. That was the bike that I was riding the day that my friend passed away. That's why I wasn't being super crazy, because I literally can't, because the bike doesn't let me. And some days I think about that. The decision to bring the BMW rather than to bring my sports bike may have saved me. Like, back when I was in the doomer phase after this had all happened, I asked myself, like, would I be dead today if I had the sports bike? Like, I always advise people that they shouldn't follow the pack if the pack is going too fast. And these were some of my first group rides with other people. I think that was maybe my second or third one I had done with more than just people that I knew. And, after that, every group ride that I went on, I was very adamant about telling people, you need to slow the fuck down, dude. I'm not following you if you're going that fast, or you're going to pull over to the next stop and I'm not going to be there. And it's not because I got in an accident. It's because I went home, because you guys are riding like fucking assholes and I don't want to die or see you die. So, after that, I definitely was very serious about, being safe and whatever. Wait, you're in a biker gang? No, not anymore, dude. I'm past that. Oh, I didn't realize you do a stream. I was wondering why I was missing some messages. Yeah. Seen the movie The World's Fastest Indian? No, I didn't. I've never gone in big group rides for that reason, to be honest. Yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't either. Your spouse can time travel? Maybe, dude. I don't know. I just assume I'll have a spouse in the future. Driving through shady spots on the road is one of my favorite experiences on a bike. You're so much more aware of the environment. Yeah. Yep. Oh, man. The moment when you come onto the freeway and you're letting rip and going up the gears. Oh, that's so fun. There's so many things I love about motorcycles. Every single time I'm able to pull up to the front at a stoplight and go in between everybody, when you're able to split lanes and it's just perfect, like everybody, there's a ton of cars or like a maybe medium flow of cars, and they're all going like 65 or 70, and you're splitting at that like 70, 75, and you're able to just like in between you, when you have that like perfect safe rhythm between everybody. Oh man, there's so many moments on the bike that I love. It's tough to remember all of them. Have you gone on a ride with Dan on his scooter? No. God, I hate people who do the shit you do. Cringe. Like, I think you guys have to realize that it's safer for us to be splitting lanes than it is to wait. Like, I explained this earlier, so you and your cringe ass can fucking rewind the VOD, but like, if we were waiting in traffic like you guys are and we get rear-ended, it's guaranteed injuries for us. It's guaranteed that we total the bike. You guys are going to fucking kill us. It's much smarter that motorcycles, and this is how it happens in other countries that have tons of motorcycles, that they pile up in between the lanes. So that if a dumb fuck, like one of you fucking cagers, one of you fucking car people hits us because you're on your phone, you're not fucking paying attention, a luxury which we do not have, then we don't die, right? And like, we don't take up space in the lane with traffic, whether it's on the freeway or it's waiting in line at a light. Like, having us not take up space, having us not be in a position where we're going to get fucked up if you crash into us. Like, these two things alone make lane splitting make a lot of sense. And when you look at the data in terms of when people are getting in accidents, like, it's inarguable that it's safer for motorcyclists to be able to lane split than not lane split. So, like, regardless of what dimension, cagers, I was tempted to not use it, and I figured I'd throw it out there, dude, because this motherfucker's a cager. Have you ever boned your bike? No, not yet. Some motorists hate that. Yeah, they definitely do. It's not legal in the US. It's legal in California in specific. It also reduces traffic volume. It definitely does. Good luck, Noble Stream, and that's rare. Thanks, dude. Skipping cars in the US is legal. It's legal in California. Bike Smarts over here calling car drivers the dumb fucks. Yeah, bro. You sound kind of defensive about your thrill seeking. It's crazy how little distance some car drivers keep with respect to motorcyclists. That's another thing. You motherfuckers are crazy. You don't realize if you so much as bump my fucking tire, you could kill me. Like, I want to be as far out of your fucking way as I can, dude. Like, you guys fucking scare me in your cars. Any fellow cagers in chat? How much is bike insurance? Is really cheap. I don't think I'd pay more than like $20, 20 something, less than $30 a month for bike insurance. So it's cheap for me. Similar reasons why bicyclists can roll through stop signs in certain places. Yeah, I think if I pay for the whole year up front, it's like $230 or $250 for the year for motorcycle insurance. And I have like theft and stuff included, so it's not the bare minimum. Yeah. That's fair, yeah. Or just get in a car. I don't like cars. Even pedestrians hate you guys. You do so much noise. I am good. I'm one of the good ones. You know what I do when I come across a bicyclist or when I come across somebody in the street? Unless we're in like a popular boulevard with tons of people, then I do make noise. But what I do is I pull in the clutch all the way, let off the throttle, and I just pass them. So especially bicyclists. Anytime I see you bicyclists on the road, when I pass you, I speed up and then I pull in the clutch all the way so that the engine isn't making all the noise. I drop all the gas and I just past you so that I don't make all that noise and scare the fuck out of you. There are some motorcyclists that take a lot of joy out of scaring you guys. I don't want you to crash into me. I don't want you to crash or hurt yourself. I don't want to blow your eardrums out or ruin your bike ride. So I guess I'm kind of considerate. If you're walking on the side of the road and I notice you there and I'm on that side of the road, I'll either move to the middle or I'll pull in that clutch and not let you hear all that noise. So, I mean, I am fairly well aware of that, and I try to help you guys. You never rev your engine really loud? I definitely do. But I don't do that when I pass by fucking bicyclists. That's rude. Every reason you like bikes, I like cars. Interesting. People in cars overwhelmingly underestimate the fucking carnage a car slamming into just about anything can unleash. Yeah. I always give a ton of space to motorcycles if it was right in front of me, even sitting at stoplights. Yeah. One thing that I wish that people wouldn't do is when we're at a stoplight and you're next to me in the lanes, please just pull up all the way. That bothers me. It's cool if you give me space when you're behind me, but what makes me feel uncomfortable and unwanted is when you won't pull up to where your window is next to me. That's when I feel uncomfortable. Like when I look to my side and there's no car there, and then I look behind me and that car is like 1 or 2 car lengths back in the lane next to me. Like, what are you doing? Do you think I'm going to come into your car and murder you or stare you down or something? Why are you avoiding me? I don't get it. Complaining about the human population while you ride an overpowered toy that is dangerous on public roads. I disagree. If you wanted to drive around EU, FYI, it's super illegal in most. Yeah, I know. In every other state in the U.S., it's super illegal. Once you leave California, you have to stop. If they catch you doing that, you're fucked. Yeah. And FYI, you're fucked in other states too. If you cross the border into Arizona, there are bike cops that will just immediately catch you for that. It's scary because they don't hear you though. Like in California in particular, you shouldn't need to hear me. You shouldn't be riding that line to your right. You should always be hugging to the left. And beyond that, if you're going to switch lanes, before you even hit your signal, you are supposed to check your mirrors. So there's not really an excuse for this, you know. Maybe it's scary when we come up like and pass you, but if you're that frightened and you're trying to commit to a turn or something, you're not following the steps correctly. Have you considered hang gliding from place to place instead? No. So you are a noisy bitch. Fuck you. You know what? I think you need to go to bed for the night, WrestleWeebs. I think you need to go to bed. Do motorcyclists wear earplugs? They should. You ever go on a track? No. Book, if you rev your bike in residential areas or in drive-thrus, I hate you. No, that's fucked up. I don't do that. Yeah, no, I don't. Booksmarts, we just don't want you looking at us doing cool car shit, bro. Yeah. Have you ever driven a motorcycle with carburetors instead of fuel injection? Yeah. My very first bike was a Ninja 250, and the Ninja 250 had carburetors because I remember cleaning them. The CBR that I got afterwards, the 600 F4i, had fuel injection, and I think that the 955 has fuel injection. Have you ever had car drivers try to race you? All the time, especially in the richer areas. It's annoying. Funny when their exhaust is so loud they need ear protection. Meanwhile, it's the people behind/beside them on the street or sidewalk that suffers the most. Maybe, dude. You guys are hella butt hurt. Dude, I'm just trying to drive somewhere. I don't want to be ambushed by a rhetoric critique. Oh, shit. You will pay for this book. I'm going to learn how to ride a bike and become your nemesis. Uh-oh. Can you explain what's good about biking for a cager? I already did. Rewind. Okay. Ever dirt biked? Yes. Okay. I think I'm all done. I think we've done what I wanted to do today. And I have other life that I need to be living and things I need to be doing. As a final message, if you want to help me transcribe stuff, do research, edit videos, booksmarts.twitch@gmail.com. Please email me with your proposal. Nice talk, Book. Thanks, dude. Book, would you suggest people to ride bikes? Yes, just be safe. Everybody should try it. Everybody should learn how they work. I think that's fun. And then if you realize it's something you want to do, then you could do it. And if you realize it's something that you hate, then you hate it, you know? But at least you know how it works and you can empathize with people that ride motorcycles. Cosplay as the Moomin Rider. Okay. I should find a place to raid, huh? Let's see. Any suggestions off the top of your guys' heads? Any suggestions? Let's see here. I guess we could do Jade or we could do Hemed. We could do Hemed or we could do Jade. I've done Hemed before. Oh, Cherry? Is Cherry live? I thought I have her followed. I don't see her live. I think we should raid Jade. It's been a while since we've raided Jade. Jade is... I just want book smarts. Well, you don't have to join in the raid. Jade is a boss. Let's do that. Everybody hop in. We're going to go hang out with Jade for a little bit. Yo, Book, next stream when? Cherry rated you, dumb fuck. My bad, dude. My bad. I'm sorry, Cherry viewers. I don't keep track of that shit, dude. You're all the same in my eyes. You're all my children. I'll send you guys to Jade. Have a good rest of your day. I don't know when I'm going to stream next. Probably tomorrow sometime. Maybe around this time. I'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye. And then to my YouTube chat, goodbye. I'll see you later. And